prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call me at 224-801-6107. That's 224-801-6107. Or visit edwardjones.com to get started. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you. Would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of five-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Where's the daylight between an American Democrat and an American communist in the year 2026? Do you give a rip if a traitor loses to a communist? Aren't they both cancer in our society? And who is the Illinois Toll Board? Who are these unanimous bureaucrats that just voted for the largest toll increase in history? Who are they? Keep voting Democrat if you want to live in a ghetto. We'll discuss that and more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. At least 7 teenagers were shot Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning across Chicago. Police say a 16-year-old was killed in one of those shootings in the Little Village neighborhood. Byron Donalds, the projected winner of the GOP primary for Florida governor. Donalds will face former Congressman David Jolly in the midterms. The Anti-Defamation League is sounding an alarm over the Chicago Democrat Socialist of America's questionnaire for city council candidates. J.T. Kath is executive vice president of the Jewish United Fund in Chicago and is asking why Zionism is the number one topic on the minds of the DSA.
DSA's decision to continue to prop up the centrality of Jewish independence in a negative way has nothing to do with the challenges and opportunities confronting our city.
And more than 85,000 NIPSCO customers in northwest Indiana are still without power over 1 week since devastating storms hit the region. The news is a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks ending higher as Treasury yields tumbled after the U.S. government increased its buyback on long-term Treasuries. Healthcare stocks advanced with Moderna the big winner on Wall Street today. Its stock surging over 170%, and Merck stock rose over 12% following news that their customized melanoma vaccine kept patients cancer-free for longer than standard treatments. Rising oil prices are keeping inflation worries alive, with West Texas Intermediate crude gushing above $85 a barrel. Chips extending losses following Tuesday's declines. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks were mostly higher. The Dow winners, Merck, Amgen, and Salesforce. The Dow decliners, Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan Chase. The Dow up 120 points. The Nasdaq higher by 41. S&P 500 up 16. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows and doors, to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio with your host, Roger Piper. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about home improvement. Listen every Saturday at noon for Home Answers right here on AM 560 The Answer. Sponsored in part by JeffBuysYourHouse.com and by CenterGuard Plumbing.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Good afternoon. Here's another check of the roads. Outbound Dan Ryan, it is solid from the Skyway to 87th. It's a 55-minute trip to get out to 95th from an earlier accident. Express are jammed 43rd to Marquette. Outbound Edens is clear on the Kennedy 45 downtown to the airport. And the Eisenhower going out up to 1 hour, post office to 390. Stevenson, 50 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Outbound Ford type from Beaubien Woods to 159th. Already jammed along the tri-state either direction, as well as to Saba Lakeshore Drive. The Veterans Memorial southbound is heavy, as well as eastbound on the Reagan. This report is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. Marvin Replacement Windows and Doors can bring your backyard right into your living space, making it seem brighter and more spacious. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your consultation. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 64. Thursday will bring mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with a high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. On Friday, expect a mix of clouds and sunshine with a chance of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
It's almost a rhetorical question. And the reason it's almost a rhetorical question is because there isn't any difference between a communist and an American Democrat. There is none. If there is, somebody enlighten me. Somebody out there tell me. Communist, 1976.
The communist vote is a vote for life. A vote for the communist ticket. It is a vote to end racism, to all forms of discrimination. It is a vote for jobs, a vote for decent income, a home for everyone, for full equality of women, especially on the job. It is a vote for free child care centers and for working mothers a 6 months maternity leave with full pay. It is a vote for free quality medical care, hospital care for all who need it. It is a vote for free college education for all regardless of income. We have the materials, we have the manpower to build a decent home for every family. We can build enough schools and hospitals. If we can have modern mass transit systems. We can eliminate poverty and want. We can do all this. We can provide these services only if we eliminate corporate profits as the kingpin on the list of priorities.
So where's the difference? Where is the difference? And why are you supposed to get nervous? Are you supposed to get nervous? Is it now? Did the light bulb go off that the American Democrat is the communist of yesteryear? Did it go off? What? Jake Tapper, confession. The illegitimate election thief Biden administration called themselves the Politburo, the same organization that ran the government of the Soviet Union, the Politburo.
I would say the right-wing meme about Joe Biden was that Dr. Joe Biden was sort of the shadow president, sort of running the country. What your book shows is that that's not totally far off. It's not Jill Biden, though. It's this group of tight advisors around Joe Biden who I want you to talk about that you call the Politburo, which is an interesting word choice. Tell me about the word choice, and then tell me about those people who were really calling the shots around the president.
So the Politburo, not a term we came up with, it's a term from within the Biden administration.
What more? I mean, really. So when they tell you, oh boy, a communist won. Communists have been winning in America since the Democrat Party has been overthrown from within. Here's the Democrat Party of yesteryear that sent hundreds of thousands of our troops, hundreds of thousands in the 60s, throughout the 60s, to kill communists.
We're in Vietnam because an international agreement signed by the United States, North Vietnam, and others in 1962 is being systematically violated by the communists. That violation threatens the independence of all the small nations in Southeast Asia.
Now that's just an old-time gangster thief crook. He stole money in elections, LBJ. But he wasn't a communist. We lost nearly 60,000 men fighting communism, hundreds of thousands injured in just Vietnam. Let alone you want to go before that to Korea. What the hell were we fighting in Korea? What's the difference between North Korea and Illinois? Who exactly are the unnamed, unelected Politburo, apparatchik, iron-fisted commie bastards who voted to raise everybody's tolls on roads we pay for 8 ways to Sunday? From triple taxes to quadruple taxes to gas taxes to taxes, license plates, and now you're going to pay more.
Yeah, guys, literally just seconds ago, the Illinois Tollway Board just voted unanimously to approve the largest toll hike in state history. You can see that.
Well, you could say that the initiation of the toll was the largest hike because it didn't exist before that. By the way, who voted for these scum and which one of them pay their own tolls? Is there one government suck-on asshat pig that pays their own tolls, let alone their own gas? Do they even pay for their fracking car? And the answer is, that's the Politburo, Illinois style. You got it everywhere the Democrats are. So for all the people who are going to vote for this fat trust fund baby who never bought anything in his life.
Now, this is why, in the face of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement's attack on public education,
you can't read because this party of illiterate moron thieves and scum have destroyed the quality of health care. And when it comes to the costs of everything from your cable to your water to gas taxes to your toll, shut your mouth and pay it, scumbag. You deserve it. Let's go over some of the success you've delivered in all of your promises.
Tonight, we're looking into an interesting claim made in a political ad that shootings are up, but homicides are down in the Chicago area, in part because of trauma surgeons that are saving more lives.
Our CBS News Chicago investigator, Megan DeMar, has been looking into the data, joins us now. You talked to the trauma surgeon and a researcher, and they say this is misleading.
Right. So while it's true that the opening of new trauma centers improves the survival of gunshot victims in that surrounding area, and that is obviously great news for the community.
They hide the fracking numbers. Last night, what'd you get, 7 shot in the ghetto? What about those violence interferers? How is that working out for hiring gangbangers and giving them a W-2 and pretending they're human beings?
Turning now to this morning's Newsmax crime report as we take a live look at Chicago, courtesy of EarthCam. The state of Illinois has spent millions trying to reimagine public safety, funneling taxpayer money to community groups instead of actual police in an effort to calm Chicago streets.
Think about reimagine public safety.
Yeah,
that's an
quote,
interesting
unquote.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now the head of one of those reimagining groups is behind bars himself, accused of sexually assaulting and grooming young girls inside his home. Crime correspondent Jason Matera has that story. Jason?
Are you listening to this sloth, this scum? You paid him $2 million. Pay attention. You voted for it. Now shut up and wallow in it.
Yeah, Edie, Krisha, Chicago has a whole network of nonprofits that bill themselves as street-level peacekeepers. One of them is called Englewood First Responders, run by this man, Charles McKenzie.
I have 30 to 40 young people throughout the city of Chicago doing the work from violence prevention, from youth development. We's a family.
McKenzie was recognized in June for his so-called violence prevention efforts on Chicago's South Side, but calling his organization his family, probably not the best word choice, given that what he allegedly did to members of his actual family. According to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, the man, paid by Illinois taxpayers to keep peace on Chicago streets, is accused of terrorizing young girls inside his own home. Prosecutors say that McKenzie's criminal conduct started in 2017 when he inappropriately touched and exposed himself to a 14-year-old over FaceTime, who was his stepdaughter. Then this March, nearly 10 years later, authorities say McKenzie sexually assaulted another 14-year-old girl in the home before school while she was wearing a Hello Kitty onesie. The little girl allegedly told police that she tried to push him away, but that McKenzie was too big and strong.
Too bad he wasn't a molester interferer instead of just a molester. And you paid this low-rent, low-living, illiterate scumbag millions of dollars. Millions and millions and millions. Boy, the cost of living, it's so expensive in Chicago. Shut up and pay it. And all those media morons who keep putting lipstick on the pig of these Democrats, they are the unindicted co-conspirators to the financial crime of the American communist in every ghetto posing as politicians.
The survival rates for gunshot victims across the city have not been improving. They're actually getting worse.
Really?
The mayor keeps pointing to the fact that homicides are down in Chicago, but he's not telling you the whole story.
Here's the Instagram reel from Chicago mayoral candidate Susana Mendoza that caught our attention.
One reason that homicides are down is because Chicago has the best trauma surgeons in the country.
Could trauma surgeons really be making that big of a dent?
I don't think it.
Not if they're Democrats. Not if they're killing babies on their off time in the weekend to pay on boat payments. You see, when you get this health care bull dung, that's why you better put an NDD, no Democrat doctors. Who exactly provides the wonderful utopian health care? Ghetto Loretto that stole, what, $500 million between three scumbag suck-on asshat doctors? Or is it going to be doctors in other ghettos, all led by Democrats?
Let's get back to that breaking news. Imagine going in for what is supposed to be routine surgery and being left permanently paralyzed.
Tonight, that is what several mid-state families are dealing with after procedures late last week at Ascension St. Thomas Hospital.
Investigative reporter Jennifer Krause is here with the very latest. Jen, this is terrifying. What happened?
Yeah, it definitely.
Let me help you. They went in for an epidural. They had knee surgery, all different minor surgery, ankle, knee, and some Democrat moron with a medical degree poisoned their spinal cord. Now they can't even feel their nipples. How's that for universal health care? Do we get the bill? And by the way, do I have to pay the health care costs for this degenerate pig scumbag gangbanger who likes raping his family members? Do I got to put in his teeth? Because you know he's got, Squirrel? He's got those platinum fake teeth like he's a gangbanger, which he is, which means he's a scumbag. Perfect base of the Democrat mafia.
After an investigation, McKenzie was arrested this month for criminal sexual assault of a minor. Now, state records show McKenzie's nonprofit hauled in more than $1 million in Illinois grants over the last 2 fiscal years alone, including funding tied directly to the state's push to reimagine public safety.
Reimagine? What exactly haven't you reimagined that turned out anything other than this tragic? Which one? Is it the school system, Pritzker, or you rest of you moron, low-life Democrats and the teacher union? By the way, this is Pritzker accepting the endorsement by the sloths with love handles on their neck who produce the product of illiteracy in our city, where 18 out of 100 kids can read on average. 13 can do math. Cheer each other, scumbags.
Now, this is why, in the face of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement's attack on public education, I have not bent. Donald Trump is trying to destroy public education. He laid off nearly half of the staff of the Department of Education.
You haven't bent since you were a toddler. You have a slave put on your shoes, somebody your Grandpa Abe pays, and they wallow in it, but they cannot pay for it. Notice that. $75 billion into a state whose budget inflated at 56. Where's the money, sloths? And they steal it. And they walk around with arrogance, which is why I say it's a simple problem to solve. Let the states issue their own currency, and let's see if these Democrat whores want the Illinois dollar, which loses value by the millisecond.
Board meeting getting out right now. Now, what that means is that tolls will now increase starting January 1st, with additional increases built in every 2 years. The average.
There you go. Did you vote for that? Don't worry. The Politburo of Illinois, Pritzker appointee scumbags. You voted for it. But if you're a Democrat and you voted Democrat and you're considering voting Democrat, shut up and wallow in it. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high-quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
Ladies, you've probably gotten real good at working around your nonstop joint pain. That's what multitasking women like you do, right? When your knees and hips scream, you shift your weight or skip workouts on really bad days. Dan Proft here. Maybe your doctor told you it's pain from arthritis, you need surgery. Well, before you make that decision, get a second opinion from my friend Dr. Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics. They're the best. I personally recommend them. I've seen the results myself. There's no undo button from surgery, especially joint replacement. QC Kinetics works with busy women like you to keep you going while the regenerative treatments do their work relieving pain. No scalpel, no long recovery, just your body's natural healing process that may help patients avoid surgery altogether. That's exactly why women like you have turned to QC Kinetics, so they can continue to get better while life goes on. Consultations are free. Have a conversation and tell them Dan Proft sent you when you do. Call 312-827-6261. That number again, 312-827-6261. Once more, call 312-827-6261.
I'm Gary Carr, retired homicide detective and the owner of Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian. For 10 years, we've helped more than 20,000 students become safe, responsible, and confident firearm owners. If you're looking to get your Illinois Concealed Carry license or need to renew, now's the perfect time. Our law enforcement-led training gives you the knowledge and skills to protect yourself and your family. Our 16-hour concealed carry class includes live fire training, one-on-one coaching, Illinois and Florida certification for expanded reciprocity, range qualification, and a full-color textbook. We provide the firearm, ammunition, eye and ear protection, targets, and range access. Need a renewal? Our 3-hour renewal class keeps you legal and current on Illinois firearm laws. Thousands of students have trusted us for professional instruction, flexible scheduling, and exceptional value. Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian for classes, less lethal options, and self-defense legal plans. Visit us at concealedcarrychicago.com to reserve your seat today. That's concealedcarrychicago.com, concealedcarrychicago.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Baby, you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
Largest increase in history. What I love about this fat slob Pritzker, he's one of the few low-life Democrats who understand what compound means. So he adds the kickers in there where nobody has to say a word. And next thing you know, more money, more money, more money. And that's the equality they deliver. Like the Soviet Union. Equality by standing in line waiting for bread for 4 hours. Equality through feudalism. Unless, of course, you're part of the Politburo. Like the suck-ons who just voted to raise everybody's toll. They don't pay the toll. They don't pay gas. They don't pay for their cars. They don't pay for jack. They're part of the kleptocracy. Greg in Rogers Park.
Hey, and then every other year, the toll road rates are going to go up, too, because of this.
Every year, not every other. Every year. Happy anniversary. This is when you sing that song, Old Lang Syne's. You pay more money when you live in these communist fiefdoms of Democrat regimes. Keep voting for it, Greg. I don't know why the hell you're there. What are you doing?
I don't vote for it, Shaun.
Well, congratulations, you're a victim. And you, along with that, 240 million Soviets, some Cubans, some Chinese, all on in the same boat. You're victims of communism. That's what it's like. You're free to move about the country. Verlon, Michigana.
Everything you said is on point. Chicago's a hellhole, and I don't know what more to add to it, so I'm going to switch the subject. I'm sorry, because I just need to know your opinion. Now that Byron Donalds has won the primary and he will be the governor of Florida, I need to know, do you support him? And then I need to know, what you think? What will be your opinion of his governorship? Do you think he will be as successful as Ron DeSantis or Scott?
This isn't going to take long.
Before him.
This isn't going to take long to answer you, but I'm going to give you a reason of why I'm answering you this way. I was blessed enough to be surrounded by guys who risked their life fighting the Third Reich, fighting in Vietnam, fighting in Korea. My whole life I was around these guys. So you're asking me if I will insult their legacy, if I will take what they fought for me to do and put it behind somebody I don't believe in, who I believe not to be who he says he is. And the answer is absolutely not. No, I will not.
Do you think his governorship will be as good as Rick Scott or Ron DeSantis?
Absolutely not. I mean, he has a great infrastructure. That's the beauty of Florida, the great infrastructure. And I don't think it's a given he wins. The guy he's running against is equally as big of a bull dung artist. He was a Republican who's now a Democrat. He'll be anything you want him to be, just like Byron. So you got two gypsies. Which one you want to win? I personally don't give a rip. Because I will never vote to insult the legacy of people who fought and died for freedom, liberty, and integrity in government. Never. That's why I don't play that game. Well, he's better than the other guy, the lesser of two evils. Right here. You're not going to get 5 seconds of my time or $5. That's how I feel about it. Thank you very much, Glenn. Glenn in Orlando.
Hey, Shaun. So socialism, it's the perfect business model for politicians. It creates dependencies. Dependencies create voters. And all they got to do is keep the spigot going for these people and become subject.
Capitalism has
subject. You're not a citizen.
Capitalism has one flaw. You have to participate. You have to be worth something. And unfortunately, in the year 2026, there are more worthless, suck-on policy pirates in this country, specifically in these Democrat areas. And the concern is, are they going to infiltrate the rest of the decent country, states? I don't believe they are. That's just me. But I also want to back up something of why you should guard your vote and never vote against your own self-interest. I mean it. And, people get mad. Oh, you can't do that. Get the hell out of here. What do you think this kid signed his mother's name so he could go and fight the communists, the imperial Japanese, the Third Reich? What do you think he signed his mother's name for at 14? So that you could vote for the lesser of two evils?
He forged his mother's signature to go to war at 14. By the time the Marine Corps discovered the lie, it was almost too late to send him home. His name was Jack Lucas. He grew up on a tobacco farm in Plymouth, North Carolina, and lost his father at 10. Angry enough afterward that his mother shipped him off to military school just to rein him in. It worked better than she expected. He became captain of the football team, built like a grown man before he was one. When Pearl Harbor hit 2 years later, something in him settled into place. He was going to fight. He excelled at machine gun training until a letter home gave away his real age. The Corps grounded him instantly. No combat, only logistics. Watching his own unit ship out without him, he wasn't going to sit that out. He slipped off base and stowed away aboard a troop ship bound for Iwo Jima, hidden below deck for 29 days with a cousin's help. By the time he surfaced, he was a day from being declared a deserter, a reward already posted for his capture. He turned himself in before the deadline passed, and they let him fight. He turned 17 in the ship's hold, 6 days before he'd need every bit of that courage. On Iwo Jima, his fire team was ambushed in a narrow trench. 11 Japanese soldiers, close enough that there wasn't time to raise a rifle to the shoulder. They fired from the hip, and Jack dropped the last man just before his own rifle jammed. He was still clearing it when he saw 2 grenades land in the ash beside him. No time to think, no time to shout a warning. He drove the first into the sand with his rifle butt and threw himself over it, then reached back, grabbed the second, and pulled that one under his own body too. That volcanic ash and the good Lord saved me, he said years later. Only 1 grenade actually detonated, tearing through his arm, his leg, and his chest, but sparing every man behind him. He was 17 years old. Surgeons spent the following months pulling more than 250 pieces of shrapnel from his body across over 20 operations. Some of it never came out at all. That October, President Truman hung the Medal of Honor around his neck in front of Generals Marshall and Patton and Admiral Nimitz, making Jack the youngest Marine in history to receive it. Truman joked he'd rather have the medal than be president. Jack didn't miss a beat. Sir, I'll swap you. Decades.
Fighting socialists, communists, imperial governments. Did he do it so that you could support him? Or did he do it so that communism and socialism could be on the ballot in America today? Wouldn't waste my time on these scumbags. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. There are no normal Democrat men, Clay Travis observed about a recent campaign video from Abdul El Sayed. The Michigan Democrat wants to ensure that. El Sayed's campaign produced a Blue's Clues themed video to promote mail-in voting. It reveals something profound about the contempt with which El Sayed and Marxists see voters and citizens in a free society. Marxists infantilize everyone as part of their claim to power. The proletariat cannot be trusted to act in their own interests, which is why private property must be abolished and the means of production seized. This is a pure form of Marxist expression. The Democratic Socialist platform reeks with infantilization. Don't like paying your bills? The government will do it. Don't like to work? The government will feed you. Don't want to pay rent? The government will seize property and shelter you, as the Marxists in charge see fit to do so. American voters need to see this for what it is, contempt for people who make their own choices. Call this video what it is, Red's Clues.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
With so much financial uncertainty, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Nolan Webster. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's the new beginning. Stop by our office in Palatine or call 224-801-6107. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Thank all of you who have already registered, because we hit another number where the West Inn and Itasca has to have more food available right behind at the Lakeside Pavilion. So we got to know how much food, how much drink they have available. It'll both be there. But moreover, it's our end of summer family picnic. It's called Shaun Fest, happening August 28th, and it's free, but you do have to register. Kind of like the country. We don't want any illegal aliens or people who are not supposed to be there, people who are not approved, to come there. So all you have to do is go to 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest, ShaunFest, all together. We're going to have Jukebox Heroes. We'll be a band there. We're going to sing the national anthem. All of the interviews will be in person. And all you have to do is go to 560theanswer.com/ShaunFest to be there. But we need to know who you are in order for us to have the food and the drink and the seats all ready for you. It's that simple, and it wouldn't happen without our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. We've got some of the greatest capitalists, honest, decent people still in the area that are providing a plethora of different services, from Goldilocks to Randy Donley. Arlington Pipe and Tobacco is going to be there. We're going to be smoking cigars. Virago, Dr. Huber, what a wonderful guy. What a mission, what a product. Leaving I-L.com, real estate broker with the knowledge to help you accomplish your goals, or at least make sure your family can. State Farm Insurance agent Anthony DeGrotto, looking to always save you money and deliver the right product. Unique Wooden Flags, Class A Insurance, owned by Tommy and TJ Iaquinta, also in the insurance game with a opportunity to quote many, many companies. It's just going to be a great event. I actually am looking forward to going through Michelle Obama's underwear drawer called O'Hare, that thiefdom scam that is. But it's all worth it as long as we get to do it together. See you on the 28th of August. 312-642-5600. That'll be when I get back. Right now we're going to go with Corey to lead us off. We'll be back after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, we see afternoon sun and a high of 79. The Illinois Tollway is expected to vote today on the largest toll rate hike in state history. If approved, the tolls in Illinois could rise nearly 60% beginning next January. The Trump administration says it plans to remove federal protections from over 44 million acres of national forest. The rule prohibits logging and new road construction in underdeveloped national forest lands. More than 85,000 NIPSCO customers in northwest Indiana are still without power, and over 4,500 in Griffith, where frustration boiled over at a town council meeting.
It's frustrating. We're not getting an honest discussion back from them. We haven't seen anybody assess anything.
Power may not be fully restored until next Tuesday, nearly 2 weeks since the storms. The Northsiders battling the White Sox at Wrigley today. The news a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone when you download the app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Your next news update is at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the afternoon commute. In the traffic center, here's Jill Urchek.
Trouble-free conditions on the outbound Edens. Kennedy outbound, watch out for an accident at Division. And it is an hour now out to O'Hare from the Chamber interchange. Heavy in the outbound express from Kimball to Keeler. The outbound Eisenhower up to an hour and 5 to get to 390 from downtown. Stevenson going out 45 minutes out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 35 minutes downtown to 95th. It is tied up in the Express 31st to Marquette. Also busy outbound 57 Ford to Halsted and then into I-80. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that's a busy one either way. Tri-State South, watch out for an accident just north of St. Charles blocking the right lane. You'll see some slowdowns westbound Jane Addams, eastbound on the Reagan, as well as southbound 355. Eastbound 8094 tight from the 4 to Indianapolis. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with the low of 64. On Thursday, expect mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with the high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. Friday will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine with the possibility of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, you need the best team on your side. Priority Tax Relief has helped thousands of Americans resolve their IRS problems and settle for pennies on the dollar. As a leading tax resolution firm, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and a 4.9-star rating on Google because we deliver results and huge savings. If you owe $5,000 or more and even facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or IRS letters, call us today at 800-741-5015. Once you call, our tax professionals will call the IRS with you for free, and within minutes, start negotiating a settlement. We'll put a stop to collections and fight to get you the best settlement possible. Choose the company Americans trust most. Call Priority Tax Relief now at 800-741-5015 to see what relief you qualify for. Don't wait. Make the call. Dial 800-741-5015. Once again, that's 800-741-5015.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Sports memorabilia, movie posters, rock and roll, get top dollar for your collection. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
One thing before I go to our friend Corey. Vindman is the twin fraud trader who also is a veteran. So make no mistake about it. This is not something I treat equally. Occupations do not have virtue. People do. Vindman is a saboteur. He's the one who lied under oath about the collusion, Russia collusion, and Trump. Lied under oath numerous times. So when he loses to this dizzy commie,
saying, like, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and performing. I've taken my children to drag shows, and it's fun. It's entertainment. It's wholesome entertainment. Yes. And there's nothing wrong. It's just, like, I don't get it.
You don't get it because you're an idiot. Vindman's an idiot and a traitor. You're a traitor, too. In fact, if you are a communist or a socialist, you are a traitor to this country. Corey Woodlawn.
Afternoon, Shaun. You know, the founders looked at this great nation and decided to protect the people best is to leave the power in the hands of the people. And during that period, all the way up until the early 1990s, we built the best buildings. Our greatest accomplishments were in that period. Yeah. And now we're just giving it all away.
Now, Corey, look at what happened with this unelected bureaucratic fraud that owes an allegiance to the trust fund butter-handed pansy, not Vindman, Pritzker, the Illinois Toll Board. Who the frack are they? Who elected them? Who do they speak for? They just gave Illinoisans, Illinoisans who are the most overtaxed, the worst state in the country, and I'm saying something. They just said, we're going to give you the largest toll increase ever. Now, who does the toll affect? It doesn't affect one gang-banging, Southside, drug-dealing, degenerate pig. It only affects the working people. It doesn't affect one government employee or one trucking company that gets their money from a government contract. They just pass it on. It only affects the people who are still busting their ass to pay for all the other taxes. You want to talk about socialism? Right there. Is it communism? Is it Marxism? Or is it corruption? It's all the above. Just the way the Chicago public school student hopes he sees a question on a test. Thank you, Corey. Fracking idiots that they are. Bill, LaSalle County.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking the call.
I agree with you. I mean, the regular people with transponders are the people who are going to pay for this. All the other people who are the tollway scofflaws, they stopped rescinding their license plates years ago. So they have no consequences. They can run the tollway, and nothing ever happens to them.
Bill, only the good. Only the good. Only the good people
and the only
who follow the rules pay all the bills, pay all the taxes.
The only reason the tollway needs this extra money is because they raped and pillaged the tollway capital funds for the RTA, the CTA, and Metra.
Bingo. And what happens in this city and in this state? Who puts lipstick on what you just articulated? Who helps them sell this corruption? Every fracking Chicago reporter. Everyone. Even the ones that are not repulsive looking and need salads. Thank you very much. Salad, Allison. George in Naperville.
Yeah, Shaun, I've known for a long time that you're a generous guy. I just want to ask you, do you tip the poor guy sitting in that toll booth all day, or do you resent him for doing his job?
Only on my way to the casino. On the way back, I tell, what do I owe you a living? Scumbags. It's funny now, Squirrel. I don't even know how many cars I got. Every couple of minutes, ding, 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 ding. I got to get the rest of my family out of that dung hole. Adam, Lake Bluff.
Hey, hi, Shaun.
How are you, babe?
Two things I wanted to say is that people forget that, or they don't research that Brezhnev was a car freak and got free cars from
and a Ukrainian
car company.
And a Ukrainian.
Right. And a Ukrainian. Then Castro used to close down Havana by the seashore at night and ride around in his Ducatis that he got free from the Italian government.
Yeah.
So
and his daughter was on Miami.
There.
His daughter was in Miami with the billions of dollars, giving everybody a Kamala Harris on the weekends, the dirty whore that she was. Or is. Yeah. What are you going to do? That's how they like it.
I'm going to be there on Friday. I'm going to see you on the 28th.
I expect nothing less. I can't wait to see you. Thank you for making time. I look forward to shaking your hand, my friend. Thank you very much. Terry, Dyer, Indiana.
Hey, Shaun, I know you've been through some pretty rough stuff regarding storms and natural disasters. I remember when you went through it.
On the balcony, baby. Like Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. Is this all you got? My car was bobbing like an apple. I love that car. But go ahead.
So the Northwest Indiana Times, we got a disaster over here in Northwest Indiana, and every story they publish and put out, and you try to look at online, they put it behind their paywall. Wouldn't you think a local newspaper would let the public read what the hell's going on?
Not since 1953.
At least a little bit before you put it behind the paywall. So I just want to call the Northwest Indiana Times a bunch of scumbags right over live radio.
Well, they're auditioning for a job in Shirakistan, and that's the funniest thing about it. You know, when I was talking to Adam's a big-time veteran. Adam's been all over the world, used it, he understands the problems, and so many of the people do. I have to tell you, I was talking to our friend Jeannie Ives, who I love to death, and her husband, wonderful. All her kids, I mean, one, it's just a family of pride. And we were talking about this issue with the aircraft carrier. And what's funny about the aircraft carrier, do people realize what these aircraft carriers are? Not only are there 5,000 people on it, they got girls now. Girls, internet, they got streaming, Hulu, Netflix, Prime, FaceTime. It's like a cruise ship with uniforms. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And you're complaining about food? Yeah, you realize the legacy you're supposed to understand? Do you realize who you're insulting?
I was 20 years old. I was drafted. Vietnamese when they called me the little kid. They said, no, you look like a little kid. You don't belong here. You know, well, I said, my government says I do. So, but the jungles, they were hot. It was muggy with the humidity. You say rain every day. We got rained on every day, and we slept in it. We slept in the mud. So we were always wet. As far as clean clothes, I wore my first set for roughly 80 days.
80 days! 80 days! Well, you know, the food here is terrible. I ordered chicken piccata. You frickin'.
80 days. You know, I only had like 4 or 5 changes of clean clothes while I was there.
Can I get a panini?
I carried 100 pounds. I didn't weigh much more than 100 pounds. I weighed about 120, so I carried 100 pounds. You didn't want to run short in case you hit the shit. And I carried Claymore mine, trip flares, 3 to 4 smokes, 6 hand grenades, 2,000 rounds of M60 ammo, and I carried 9 quarts of water.
And didn't complain one time to a newspaper back home. You know, this is terrible. Is this a corn dog I'm eating? I didn't order a corn dog. I ordered a chili dog. Shut up, morons. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. When people call us, they're often dealing with something overwhelming. An inherited home full of belongings, parent needing senior living, managing an estate while juggling everything else in life. Here's what our sellers have to say after working with us. The very thought of hiring an agent, a cleanup crew, and dealing with months of uncertainty was overwhelming. But Jeff's team gave me permission to just leave it all. I took what mattered and they handled everything else. Another seller wrote, even my Medicaid specialist said Jeff Buys Your House is the name to trust. They gave me a fair price without the traditional real estate headache. And this one, they handled every hiccup. Title issues, paperwork, estate complications. I finally felt relieved. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led team has earned hundreds of 5-star reviews for its professionalism, compassion, and seamless service. No repairs and no cleanout. Take your memories with you and we'll take care of the rest. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Perhaps you're a collector, or perhaps all of a sudden you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donnelly Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donnelly Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonnellyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donnelly does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers, it's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donnelly has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donnelly Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donnelly Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonnellyAuctions.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing during the decline in the U.S. economy, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-574-8803. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and can't afford to pay them back, or you even have years of unfiled returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-574-8803 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, pension, savings, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 1-800-574-8803 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 1-800-574-8803.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family owned with integrity since 1981.
AM 560, The Answer.
Love, exciting and...
Squirrel, I want you to contact the Navy. I want to know how many of the broads on the ship come back pregnant and how many of the guys come back with the clap. I thought that Tuesday, it's not steak sandwich afternoon? Frickin' idiots. Terry! Where's Terry? Can't get a hold of Terry. All right, Peter! Peter Barrington.
Yes, Shaun, our national debt just hit $40 trillion. Do you know what kind of reward we get when it hits $50 trillion? Do we get a free sub or something?
Yeah, you absolutely get something. You know what you get? You get all your assets taken away. And that's what you're going to. Yeah, right. It's not good. It's not good at all. That's why I've been begging you to get the hell away from these commies. I know it's very nice in Barrington. Believe me, I used to play Stonehenge every Saturday. Lovely course. However, it's still part of Illinois. Yeah. It's still part of Illinoistan. It's a pastor kid, but that's all I could afford at the time. Thank you very much for the call. Good. You keep your head down. It's spicy out there. One of the things that you have to be aware of when we talk about these accusations I make, right? Oh, he's a communist, he's a traitor. They're not unfounded by any means. You do realize who we're talking about when I talk about Democrats. Traitors! And the evidence is everywhere.
Well, the White House Transparency Task Force released some documents about the FBI investigation into former East Bay Congressman Eric Swalwell. Now, the files indicate Swalwell told the investigators he was on Ambien when he had, quote, physical relations in 2015 and 2016 with Christine Fang. She is accused of being a spy for China and cultivated relationships with rising politicians and other influencers.
Long before all the scandals, he was stooping a rake by the name of Fang Fang. Did you ever see this broad, Squirrel? Eat an apple through a fence. That's a honeypot? Well, you could tell she's from China. She looked like she needed a sandwich as well. And you start to look at every one of these Democrats. California, another Democrat named Gomez. Not the Addams Family Gomez, the other Gomez.
Another California Democrat facing allegations of sexual misconduct this morning. Representative Jimmy Gomez is under investigation for, quote, engaging in inappropriate sexual contact with a House staffer. In a state...
Gee, real shock. You know what the shocking part of that story is? It's a girl. Because he looks like somebody who rides a horse side saddle. You look like you got a little sugar in your tank, sissy. And everywhere the Democrats are in charge. Same thing. You think it was just Minnesota?
Nearly 200 indictments and nearly $3 billion of taxpayer money stolen. But victims of Arizona's Medicaid scandal say they are still waiting for justice.
Plaintiffs in a class action lawsuit claim the state is letting those responsible in the sober living scheme off.
Sober living scheme. You know what that is, Squirrel? You take a bunch of degenerates, drug addicts, drunks and whatnot, and you put them in a facility called sober living, primarily owned by cartels, gangbangers, and other scum Democrats. And you overpay for treatment. And then they leave. They get hooked on the dope again, or they never got cured. Right back, over and over and over, in every Democrat enclave. You think it was just the violence interferers in Chicago? The sick bastards?
We spoke with retired Riverside Police Chief Tom Weitzel, and he says that the problem goes way beyond questionable government grants to self-styled peacekeepers with shady backgrounds. He argues these programs are being used to shift money and manpower away from the real cops.
Well, that's true, but which one of the 150 on Brandon Johnson's detail? Which one of those guys is a real cop? Like the platoon that drove Ed Burke by his side broad's house when the Viagra kicked in. Terry, Shirakistan.
Hey, Shaun, I remember a guy, they called him Quarters Boyle. He worked for the tollway, and that's how he got his nickname, because he was always taking quarters. The other thing is, the mob used to have juice loans, and it was 25%. Couldn't the state of Illinois say, we're not going to squeeze you any tighter than the mob?
Hey, well, first of all, the mob wouldn't even give Illinois money. They only give money to people they think can pay him back, or at least pay the VIG. And when you're talking about quarters, do you remember the car he had? Do you remember the car?
I just remember his name.
Oh, babe. A 1978 Buick Park Avenue. You remember the trunk in that? You could fit 4 Democrats shoulder to shoulder in the back seat. And he broke the shocks. That's how much change he stole in a 1978 Buick. And you know who knew about it? Everybody! We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Since 2007, Folds of Honor has awarded nearly 73,000 educational scholarships, over $340 million to the children and spouses of America's fallen and disabled military heroes and first responders. This year alone, 7,700 qualified applicants didn't receive funding, not because they didn't deserve it, because resources ran out. You can change that. On Saturday, September 12th, you're invited to an exclusive VIP concert experience at a private estate in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, featuring Gary LaVox of Rascal Flatts and the Swan Brothers, benefiting Folds of Honor. This is an intimate evening with incredible live music and an even more incredible cause. Tickets are limited, and if you own a business, this is your chance to put your brand behind something that truly matters. Honor their sacrifice, educate their legacy, make lifetime memories. For tickets or business sponsorship opportunities, visit foldsconcert.com. That's foldsconcert.com. Saturday, September 12th. Don't miss it. foldsconcert.com.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you, would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560. The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
I'm a big fan of our next guest. I like her a lot. I've had the pleasure of interviewing her for over 2 decades in Hollywood as a screenwriter and producer, author of some fantastic books. Her first book, when I originally talked to her, was about Americans Anonymous, Restoring Power to the People. Well, she's written a new explosive book that's out now, Infiltrating Instead of Invasion, America Betrayal, 1944 to 1954. Mel K will join us to discuss that and so much more after News with Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Afternoon sun and a high of 79 in the forecast. President Trump is pausing a planned wave of tariffs set to hit Canada overnight. The president saying he paused the 50% duties for 3 days because the two countries are close to a deal. An attempt to serve a warrant at the home of a convicted sex offender in Missouri turned chaotic when the wooden deck the officers were standing on collapsed underneath. Body cam audio capturing the moment. Hold on. 4 deputy U.S. Marshals and 5 sheriff's deputies fell from the second-floor deck to the ground. 5 remain hospitalized. NASCAR abandoning Chicago for the suburbs next year. City officials and NASCAR could not come to an agreement on holding the street course race in 2027. Instead, the auto racing giant heads back to the better-equipped Chicagoland Motor Speedway in Joliet. One more day of practice at Hallis Hall before the Bears head to Cincinnati for a practice day and then a preseason contest on Saturday. The news, a service of Salem Surround. Go to surroundchicago.com today. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages snapping a 3-session losing streak as bond yields retreat after the Treasury Department said it would ramp up bond repurchases. The Magnificent 7 big-cap tech stocks were mostly higher, led by Tesla and Amazon. However, chip stocks resumed their sell-off, capping the Nasdaq's gains. A healthcare rally powered Wednesday's advances. Moderna stock surging 177%, while Merck shares gained 12% following positive trial results for their customized melanoma vaccine. Fed minutes from its late July meeting were released and provided some clues into just how divided policymakers are about the path forward for interest rates. Many policymakers believe that raising rates would likely be necessary if inflation doesn't decline. The Dow up 120 points, the Nasdaq higher by 16, S&P 500 up 41. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
When George Washington accepted command of the Continental Army, Americans were fighting a king and determined not to replace one form of unchecked power with another. Washington understood the difference between authority and ownership. In 1775, he declared, "When we assume the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen." Even as commander of America's army, Washington remembered that he remained one of the people and that the power entrusted to him was never his to keep. He did not fight to rule America. He fought so Americans could govern themselves. Washington's example gave the young nation something more than victory. It gave America a standard for leadership. Those who hold power must remain accountable to the people they serve, because in a free nation, leadership is not ownership. It is a duty and a trust.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here is another look at the roads on the Kennedy, out 50 minutes with an accident at Division, and the outbound Edens is clear, although you will see types in the Express, Fullerton to Costner. Outbound Eisenhower 1 hour and 5, Post Office out to 390, Stevenson an hour to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and 35 minutes outbound Ryan, slowing in the Express 35th to Marquette. Tie-ups, scattered delays either way on the Ford and 57, heavy along the Tri-State either way, northbound an accident at St. Charles, DuSable Lakeshore Drive busy both directions, and tie-up southbound 355, eastbound Reagan and westbound Jane Addams, but no accidents, just slow traffic. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 64. Thursday will bring mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with a high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. On Friday, expect a mix of clouds and sunshine with a chance of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love it, property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white,
I have had the pleasure of interviewing our next guest before. And at that time, it was about her previous book, Americans Anonymous, Restoring Power to the People, One Citizen at a Time. She is host of the enormously popular Mel K Show. Did you have to put enormously? It's very emasculating. You can find it at the melkshow.com. The new book, Infiltration Instead of Invasion, America's Betrayal, 1944 to 54. I love this because we're going to talk about a lot of scandal. That is the underbelly of what we now face today. Mel K, how are you?
I'm great. Great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a very interesting, right? You started off in, are you from New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, from New York. Then you go to Hollywood for 20 years, right? Film, producer.
Yeah,
and now,
everything. Yep.
Now you're in the best state in the world, if memory serves me correct.
Yes, I am. I live in Florida, thank God.
Yes, very good, very good, very good. So it's interesting perspective because you've seen all aspects of exactly what our problem is. We have, in fact, been infiltrated. This is an underbelly of a Leviathan that has us 8 ways to Tuesday. Heads they win, tails we lose. And it starts out, really, is it before World War II? Because I kind of think it was with the Rockefeller Foundation and all of that scandal. And then the Bank of International Settlements and all of that and the Federal Reserve. But what is the crucial part of 44 to 54?
Well, essentially, what we're dealing with, yes, you're right. It happened. The first betrayal of America was under the, I believe, treasonous Wilson administration. And Wilson didn't only bring in the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal nor a reserve, and also the IRS, but he also brought in progressivism, which essentially they've been selling us for decades, the decline of America as progress. So you are correct. It happened earlier. But what happened in those 10 years is essentially a global supranational financial architecture and an intelligence architecture was built above all nations by the international, what I call the international banking cartel, and the global public-private partnership, which of course includes NGOs like the Rockefeller Foundation. But what really happened then is that a group of bankers, essentially, actually Wall Street lawyers, the Dulles brothers, spent World War II essentially in Switzerland. And we were all told Switzerland was neutral and, Switzerland was great. Switzerland was not neutral. Switzerland was keeping the banking money from the Nazi side and the Allied side going. They were all sitting at the same table. And essentially what happened is they built a continuity of government above all nations that not only included, like you said, the Bank of International Settlements, which should have disappeared at Bretton Woods and never did, but they created the IMF, the World Bank, at Bretton Woods, and then they created the United Nations and 76 essentially tentacles, and they gave them all immunity. And from that point on, really, no nation has been totally sovereign. And then, of course, the two men that created that for the global government, they walked into the two highest positions unelected in the United States, the Secretary of State, John Foster Dulles, and the head of the CIA, Alan Dulles. And I think from that point on, the State Department, the CIA, later the USAID, National Endowment for Democracy, has been a node of this supranational global government While all of us believe that they were working for us, I don't think they have been. And I think the controlled demolition of America kicked off in 1953 when those two men took over the country.
And now, how many people did not know that CIA Dulles' brother was in charge of this? I mean, that's not something that people discuss. And when you look at this underbelly of relationships, how do you not? I mean, I'm assuming you stumbled onto Prescott Bush and his relationship with the Third Reich. That is a staggering. I mean, he was the banker of the Third fracking Reich. He paid the largest fine that our government had ever given anybody, and he wrote a check for it, and then was elected senator. So this isn't the only time Americans have been stupid voting for traitors, right?
No, I mean, we've been stupid voting for traitors. America voted for a Manchurian candidate. I mean, Barack Obama was born into the USAID CIA world. So, I mean, we were lied to about his entire past, but this really started decades ago. And the whole point was to collapse America from within, because I really believe that the issue at this point, I've covered the World Economic Forum and Davos and Bilderberg and the UN and all the tentacles. This is about the constitutional republic being unacceptable to the global elite. They cannot have this rogue America that actually believes that individual liberty and rights from God, not government, this doesn't work for their end game. So, I mean, honestly, the 10 years I'm talking about, so many things happened to undermine the sovereignty and also the financial future of the United States that people don't know. They hear about Bretton Woods. They don't know Bretton Woods was a week after D-Day. Hitler hadn't surrendered, and the international bankers are planning a supranational banking system that then they give themselves, of course, the Dulles brothers are Wall Street lawyers that created this. They give themselves immunity. To this day, the IMF, the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements, they all have total immunity.
Think about
insanity.
It's a country that never has to turn over anything. The Bank of International Settlements is an amazing legal vestibule of unlimited corruption. And they give us the illusion of Bretton Woods. The Americans were the superpower. And what we really are the financiers of all the world fraud. And you know, it's fascinating when you dig into the money of things. I was looking at all of the money of stuff when it came to Iran. First of all, this is all part of World War II. Iran, it was the ally of the Third Reich. So people forget all this and all of what we are living today, of how long we've been at conflict with the Islamo-Nazi, which is why it's very important that that's how they should be referred to. The land of the Aryan, which I still love when Democrats repeat it, don't know what the hell they're saying. But when you look at the rial, the Iranian currency, what's fascinating is before Jimmy Carter, whose consultant at the CIA was George Bush Sr., who is the son of Prescott Bush. And you look at what they installed the theocracy. But first, you have to realize what Iran was doing. They were succeeding. And their rial, it was 64 rials to $1. Today, it's 1.83 million. So you look at what they did. They sidelined that. They sidelined the Middle East. And they take our money in the banking system, the cartel, and they're just bribing allies. We don't have any fracking allies. That's the beauty of Trump. He's exposing it. From South Korea to Spain to Central and South America, we have no allies. We're just laundering the fracking money, and we're paying for it in a grand scheme nobody can audit. How do you see it?
Right. That's exactly how I see it. And what you're saying is even more. So the reason I tie it to that decade is because of the Dulles brothers, bankers from Wall Street, Sullivan and Cromwell, in Nazi Germany, in Switzerland, but dealing with Nazi Germany regularly as if the banking system could not collapse. So people have to understand the whole idea of Switzerland being neutral. No. What was going on in Switzerland was that money was being looted and laundered and stolen from places like Czechoslovakia and France, and it was being deposited in the Bank of International Settlements. Okay? And they're sitting around the table, all the City of London bankers and the Five Eyes bankers and they're sitting around the table talking about future finance while they are in Switzerland overlooking people dying in the worst part of the war post D-Day in the windows as if it's not happening. And, people have to understand a lot of this is multinational corporations as well. So people look at the World Economic Forum. What's that about? What it's about is borderless business. It's about no nation states. It's about a global governance model that they've been trying for, like you said. Remember Smedley Butler after World War I came out and said all wars are a racket. These are bankers' wars. Well, I think after World War I, the international banking and global public-private partnership, as I call them, they realized that the best way to consolidate power and to suck out all the money of the free nations was reconstruction after war.
Oh, the
so
greatest
essentially
scam
what
ever.
happened, the Bank of International Settlements ostensibly was created out of the Young and Dawes Plan after World War I for reparations from Germany. Meanwhile, Sullivan and Cromwell is representing the Rockefellers at Standard Oil of New Jersey and IG Farben, which is the biggest corporation in Germany. And then they go together and they're sharing patents back and forth and they're working with the Bank of Internet. Essentially, we refunded Nazi Germany's industrial power, and a lot of that came from America. And then the biggest fraud was the Marshall Plan. After World War II, the same exact thing happened. So now the American people, and I believe this was set up at Bretton Woods, and the whole idea of the U.S. being the reserve currency and all of that has been a total fraud on the American people. We have been lied to and looted equally. There's no race or religion that wasn't touched by this operation. And then when you look at that, John Foster Dulles also wrote the original United Nations treaty in a group at the same time. And then Alan Dulles goes into the CIA, and they are lawyers from Sullivan and Cromwell. What's the first regime change operation of now, I'd say 90, including the United States since 2016, was Iran.
Mm-hmm.
So their client at Sullivan and Cromwell was BP Oil. Well, Iran in 1953 wanted to nationalize oil and have their own currency and all that. Well, that was unacceptable. So next thing you know, we're freeing Iran in 1953, and nobody's telling anyone that BP is the client of the law firm of the Secretary of State and CIA head. And then the same thing happened in Guatemala. A year later, the CIA essentially overthrows Guatemala, and then we find out that not only is United Fruit a client of Sullivan and Cromwell, but Alan Dulles is on the board. And I really think that essentially they took the model from Nazi Germany, they moved it into the State Department, and I, at this point, think the CIA was never created to protect the United States, nor do I think the Five Eyes arrangement had anything to do with protecting their nations. This is a protection racket for the international, supranational architecture of finance.
So now what you're really writing is a volume encyclopedia, because you're only covering 10 years, but you're going to go with the rest of it. I could tell. This is what you're doing, right? You're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do 10 years, because this is when it really gets interesting, right? Because it gets interesting because these are all the same players and their kids, from the Bushes to the relationship with, they don't exist. Dulles, all of it. Right. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this, what you're doing. And, part of the thing that's important for people to understand is before World War II, the relationship between these players and the Third Reich, and what the Third Reich represented. People don't talk about how many times Hitler was on, Time Magazine, right? Wasn't he on there 5 times, 6 times? Right. Time Magazine. And why?
No, the Dulleses were friends with the Third Reich.
Yeah.
This is the problem. What was going on in Switzerland, they were not at war when they crossed into the Bank of International Settlements. They were all working out a global governance model that was run by, it was the end of, they were capturing the financial model of the entire world while people are dying on the battlefield to protect Europe. I mean, it's just so, and it became the model. The model is endless war for profit. And 3 presidents warned us about this within 3 years. People can look up the dates. It's in my book. But my book is based on JFK's 1961 speech to the press. So if anyone didn't know that the press has always been against the president, is insane. But what does he say? He says we have a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy, infiltration instead of invasion. subversion instead of elections, intimidation instead of free choice, and guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. 1961. He's killed shortly after. Then Eisenhower comes out and says, beware of the international banks and the military-industrial complex on his way out. Then Truman, right before he dies, writes an op-ed in the Washington Post saying he would never have signed the 1947 National Security Act that created the CIA and NSA and everything if he had known what they would have become, that they were sinister and that they were undermining the foreign policy of the United States. 3 men in 3 years.
And you look
one
at these,
died for it.
And you look at the angst that the Leviathan has for Trump, and it's really, you're explaining all of it because it's been this illusion.
It's all about that.
It's an illusion of our republic. It's been this way since World War II. Nobody gets in that nobody wanted to get in, except for right now. It's the first time in history that this has happened. And what I love, too, is the connection of all these players and how they're positioned in our American parties. And when you look at Newsom and you look at Pelosi, most people are unaware of the connection between Getty. Also, right? They're all Getty.
I know.
That's Getty's whole clan. And look at what they did with California in the midst of all of this angst with Iran. There is still a regulation that California oil must include 4% of Iranian oil, aside from all our own foreign policy. So really, this is the game. It's between the two families of the worldwide syndicate, isn't it?
Well, it's something else also that we need to understand is progressivism. It's a fraud. First of all, it's European socialism. Second of all, the caricature of the Nazis is not an accident. The Nazis are the National Socialist Workers' Party, and they still exist. And one of the big reasons that they got all the money out in the CIA D-class of the Red House papers was because they would rise again. Well, I believe the war that's going on right now, that we should have pulled out of NATO long ago, this is a boondoggle for America in Europe again.
Oh,
but
please.
The truth is, they set up Ukraine in the 90s for the Third World War that they want right now. And the entire what happened to Donald Trump in 2016 was because he was going to normalize relations with Russia and find out what was going on in Ukraine, and they were not going to let that happen. And again, the CIA, I don't think, ever worked for us. And don't forget, within weeks of Trump winning, 100 former CIA guys, all of them that did overthrows in Europe and South America, wrote a letter to General Flynn saying that Donald Trump could not be president. He was an existential threat. General Flynn threw it away, and next thing you know, they go after Flynn. Then McMaster got it, ignored it. I fully believe all roads of what we're dealing with lead exactly back to the thing that the Dulles brothers built, which is a supranational node that's acting like the fourth branch of government, and everyone is scared of them.
I have to say, I love the fact that you take this on, and I love the fact that this is going to be volumes, because this story really needs to be told, and it needs to be told with this kind of format where you're taking people down the path of where we are today and how much of it circles back to this agreement, this Leviathan of shadows, which is really what we've been dealing with. And this is crucially important for people to understand. It's an illusion that we have this republic, and the angst against Trump isn't because any other reason than he is disrupting it. And when you look back at this whole thing with Victoria Nuland and Obama, you know what fascinates me? You know what fascinates me, Mel? The whole stronghold of the Third Reich was Ukraine and the Azov Nazis.
I know.
To this day,
nobody knows.
They celebrate Stefan Bandera. Are you out of your fracking mind? Aside from the head of the Iron Curtain, what of them? 4 of them are Ukrainians, the worst that wanted to blow up America. We are on the dead wrong side. I never bought this war, and I'm glad you're at least enlightening people.
No, 1,000%. But even worse, Alan Dulles made sure none of the Ukrainian Nazis were held accountable at Nuremberg. Figure that out. And then you have to understand, George Soros is part of this group. I would say he's a front man for the Rockefellers, if anything. You know, he collapsed the Bank of England. But what I want people to understand is that we are under attack, not by, like, this whole thing with the DSA and the jihadis getting together. They're both, the big thing we have to understand about Nazism is it's totalitarian. We are a constitutional republic. That is the thorn in the paw of the globalists. They need to end the constitutional republic. There cannot be individual liberty. There cannot be rules from God, not government. That will not work with Agenda 2030. And I believe the long-term goal, if you look at George Soros' actions from the 90s forward, he essentially was very involved in the overthrow of the duly elected president of Ukraine in 2014, who wanted to normalize relations with Russia. But the plan with Brzezinski and Kissinger and Rockefeller and all of the people that really run this, the goal of the Third Reich was to collapse Russia, turn it into a bunch of different pieces, have a united Europe, take all their natural resources and run the world through Geneva and Brussels. That is still the goal.
Sure it is. And I love the fact he was a Nazi. He worked with the Nazis at 14. I don't even want to tell you what I was doing to Carol Belpedio's bra at 14 years old, let alone what this guy was doing with the Nazis. It's preposterous what is happening here.
He
Absolutely
said it was the
preposterous.
best time of his life. And the worst part is, here's the thing. He wrote a document. George Soros, it's still on Open Society website. He wrote a document in 1993, and it said the NATO World Order. And I believe he was 100% responsible with Bush of getting Clinton into that position, because Clinton had all kinds of problems with the CIA in Arkansas, MENA, all that stuff.
It all went away, though.
And frankly, George Soros wrote the foreign policy for Clinton. And what's the worst part of this is George Soros essentially took over Ukraine before the USSR collapsed.
Yeah.
He's all in with it, because Ukraine, since the collapse of the USSR, has never been a democracy. What are we defending there? No. Ukraine has been a oligarchy of one foot in Russia and one foot in Ukraine with Soros and all these international companies. We are not fighting a war to protect a democracy. We are fighting a war to protect a kleptocracy.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Yes. Mel K, I love the fact that you joined me. By the way, did you see the 1998 George Soros 60 Minutes thing? Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone could see it. Everyone could see it twice. And when he admits that he was in Ukraine.
Before the fall. I love that whole thing.
Yes.
Mel K, you can find her at themelkshow.com. The show is fantastic. The books are great. The latest book, Infiltration Instead of Invasion, America Betrayed, 1944 to 54. I'm already excited about 1954 to 64. I can't wait for the encyclopedia version.
Conversion instead of elections is 64 to 74. Wait till you read that one.
I so appreciate you giving me a shot for the interview. Thank you for taking time. I know how busy you are. Thank you.
No, anytime. Thank you.
We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know a will alone does not keep your family out of court when you die? The court still has to approve your will, but get a living trust, and your estate can be settled clearly without issue. Talk to the attorneys at Nauman & Associates. They prepare wills and trusts for a flat fee, no surprises, no hourly rate. With decades of experience, they know the law and offer a free consultation. Contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village, nalawgroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you, would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Venezuelan illegal alien scumbag protected in Chicago, Cook County, and Illinois, accused of Lakeview armed robbery, finally faces federal charges. Man arrested 8 times while on probation for nearly killing a man with a box cutter in a Macy's burglary. That's Shirakistan, Crooked County, DuPage, and anywhere the Democrats are in charge. So when it comes to protecting your home, your office, your condo, your retail store, and your warehouse, you need a security system that's just right. Not too small, not too big. Goldilocks Inc. provides just that security system. Whether it's a home, whether it's an office, whether it's a condo, whether it's a retail store or a warehouse that you have to give accessibility to people who work for you. Instantaneously, you can turn it on or shut it off at GoldilocksInc.com or call 708-889-5600. Tell the wonderful people. Family-owned business. I met the brothers, the best guys you've ever seen. I've had alarms since I bought my first house and could afford one. Since 1999. This is by far the best product. And if you call and you say you heard about it on my show, 3 months free monitoring. 40 years, 2 brothers took a father's business for a locksmith and turned it in to GoldilocksInc.com. It's an incredible story. They employ 40 decent Americans trapped in Illinois and stand. Each one of them secure their own property and yours by simply going to GoldilocksInc.com or call 708-889. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on my show. 3 months free monitoring. Best alarm that I've ever had. When we get back, 312-642-5600. I'll take your calls and comments. Phil will lead us off in Grays Lake. He's been waiting a while. Thank you very much. We'll be back after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, tonight we see partly cloudy and 63 in the forecast. At least 7 teens were shot Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning across the city of Chicago. Police say a 16-year-old boy was killed in one of the shootings in the Little Village neighborhood. The Illinois Tollway is expected to vote today on the largest toll rate hike in state history. If approved, tolls in Illinois could rise nearly 60% beginning next January. Congressman Byron Donalds winning the GOP primary for governor in Florida. Now he's set to go head-to-head with Democrat nominee David Jolly. Donalds previously proposed debates with Jolly, who responded, "Get through the primary and we'll talk." Donalds tells Fox he's now ready.
I'm ready to go anytime. That's really more up to David Jolly whenever they're going to let him out of the box. But I'm more than ready, willing to go.
And over 85,000 NIPSCO customers in Northwest Indiana are still without power. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Next, news at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the evening commute in the traffic center. Here's Jill Urchek.
There's an accident inbound Kennedy at Canfield to watch for 55 minutes inbound. And the outbound Kennedy is up to an hour. It still looks great, though, going out on the Edens. On the outbound Eisenhower, it's an hour and 10. Post Office to 390. 55 north, solid into Bluff Road from Blodgett with an accident in the left lane. Stevenson going out an hour and 5 to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355 and 30 minutes. Outbound side of the Dan Ryan Express tight. 35th to Marquette. An accident northbound Tri-State at Cicero in the right lane. Stall on the entrance ramp to Half Day Road. All the tollways filled with delays at this time. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Property University and The Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with the low of 64. On Thursday, expect mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with the high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. Friday will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine with the possibility of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Regular no lead at the Murphy's Express on Hastert Boulevard in Naperville is $3.89 a gallon. The Amico in Wilmington on West Lorenzo Road has regular no lead at $3.89 a gallon. And $3.89 a gallon to fill up at the Pilot in Shanahan.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Hey, it's Shaun Thompson. You know, one day it's market volatility. The next day, it's conflict overseas. Price jumps, confidence drops, and suddenly retirement feels less certain. When the latest headline pushes costs higher and stokes inflation fears, it can have a ripple effect on your investments and your budget. But here's the thing. Retirement shouldn't depend on perfect timing or on the latest geopolitical noise. Tom Fortino and the Alpha Wealth Group help families right here in the Chicago area build a plan to create income you can't outlive. Control taxes, minimize risk, protect your assets, and prepare an estate and legacy plan. It's their 5-pillar retirement planning. Ready to learn more? To get your complimentary retirement roadmap and a retirement analysis today, schedule a meeting with Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group by calling 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711, or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
I know you've heard the line, we're on a mission from God. Here in Chicago, that means something. But for me, it's real. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I'm on a mission from God to help business owners achieve their American dream. Because every day I see the same thing. Unfiled returns, confusing numbers, IRS letters stacking up. Not because business owners are doing anything wrong, but because they're overwhelmed. Here's what I've learned after helping hundreds of business owners. There is always a solution, but you can't reach it until you take control. That's why I built a system to take you from chaos to control. Go to fightbacknow.com and get started. I'll show you exactly what to do, step by step. No guessing, no confusion, just a clear path forward. Go to fightbacknow.com and I'll send you my new book, Fight Back Now, Freedom Through Preparation. Just cover the shipping. I'll take care of the rest. Or if you want to talk to someone right now, call 312-664-6649. Fightbacknow.com, because chaos is the only thing standing in your way.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Vintage toys or model trains in the attic? Sell them for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Maybe as a child you don't see the connection, but it created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, of course, I could be on the other side, or I could be the one from whom the thing is being taken away. But there was no sense that I shouldn't be there, because that was... well, actually, in a funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. And it was whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator, the property was being taken away. So I had no role in taking away that property. So I had no sense of guilt.
Are you religious?
No.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Soros told us he believes God was created by man, not the other way around, which may be why he thinks he can smooth out the world's imperfections. When we went with him to Ukraine, he was treated like a visiting head of state and was received by the president. Then he was received by the prime minister and finally the central bank.
20% in cash.
They even allowed him to look at the books and asked him for advice. Lots of people want George Soros' advice. Most recently, South African President Nelson Mandela.
Actually, President Mandela asked me, how could South Africa protect itself against speculators like you? And I told him, I wrote him a memo, trying to give him the best advice I could, how to reduce the exposure of South Africa to speculative attack.
That's the old stop me before I kill again approach, right?
Well,
you're telling this is what you can do to stop me.
Whether I or somebody else does whatever is happening in the markets, it really doesn't make any difference to the outcome. I don't feel guilty because I'm engaged in an amoral activity which is not meant to have anything to do with guilt.
Part of the reason he is so rich is that the Soros hedge funds operate offshore in the Netherlands Antilles to avoid scrutiny by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So even while Soros tells Congress and the Treasury that hedge funds must be regulated to stop the global crisis, he's avoiding the rules. Why is it that Americans can't invest in the quantum fund? It's an offshore fund. Why is that?
Because the fund is not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Going to Sizzler.
We are not
licensed to do business in the United States.
That's right.
Because?
Because we are not registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Because we find it more convenient to operate without it.
So in some ways it's to escape regulation.
Yeah, that's right.
But you've been sitting here talking about the need for regulation.
Yes, and whatever regulations are imposed, we will obey. We already conform to everything.
If the beneficiaries of Soros's billions do not understand the intricacies of SEC rules and offshore hedge funds, they do understand what he's done for them. The president of Haiti is reading his new book, The Crisis of Global Capitalism, and so is President Clinton. Will all the attention spoil George Soros?
George Soros, in a way, is Donald Trump without the humility.
One of your money manager told us that George really does think he's a god.
I mean, if you think that you're God and you go into financial markets, you're bound to come out broke. So the fact that I'm not broke shows that I don't believe that I'm God.
Squirrel, did I hear Clinton and I hear Haiti in the same sentence again?
It has entirely crushed Haiti. In 2010, we had an earthquake that killed 315,000 people. That's really a deadly earthquake, and millions were left without shelter. President Obama named Bill Clinton as the one that should be in charge of the reconstruction of Haiti. And in that process, the Clinton Foundation, through U.S. taxpayers' money, and people giving money worldwide to the Clinton Foundation for relief effort to Haiti, contributed about $14.3 billion. We're talking about $1 billion, okay? And the Haitian people has not seen not even 2% of that money.
2%.
Nothing was done in Haiti.
Yeah. No, and the New York Times has investigated this. Lots of other people have, and have found that it was donors to the Clinton Foundation that were then given these contracts, and they went in.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly, and actually they were given those contracts. They were given millions of dollars from that money, and nothing was actually done.
How much went into George Soros's unregulated, impossible to audit, his little fund? How many? Scum of the earth. Phil, Grays Lake.
Shaun, thanks for taking my call and getting back to the author Mel and all her talks about the rise of communism and whatnot. How far do you think George Soros and all the other one world order scumbags would have got had Patton been allowed to, as he put it, give me a week, I'll start a war with these commie bastards and make it look like it's their fault. But no, our chicken dung politicians, Truman, Churchill, had to sit down with Stalin and sold everyone, threw everyone under the bus. How far do you think communism would have flourished today had Patton been allowed to finish what he started? Well, and then lo and behold, a World War I cavalry soldier, George S. Patton, dies in a mysterious horseback riding accident.
Here's the question. How far would communism have gone if the American government didn't underwrite the players of communism?
Absolutely.
Ukraine is not our ally. Ukrainian upper echelon, the higher regime of Ukraine, has always been the head of the Soviet Union. Brezhnev, Chernenko, Khrushchev, and I'm forgetting one of the other Chevs. All scumbags, all hating America, and all financed by us.
By the Americans. Yep. And
bingo.
Kiev the original capital of the original Mother Russia, were they not? Kiev, was it not?
I'll tell you the truth. And we're still financing our own destruction, not just in Chicago or Detroit or New York or New Jersey or California or anywhere these Democrats are. Same thing. Soviets. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, it's Shaun Thompson. One day it's market volatility. The next day it's conflict overseas. Price jumps, confidence drops, and suddenly retirement feels less certain. When the latest headline pushes costs higher and stokes inflation fears, it can have a ripple effect on your investments and your budget. But here's the thing. Retirement shouldn't depend on perfect timing or on the latest geopolitical noise. Tom Fortino and the Alpha Wealth Group help families right here in the Chicago area build a plan to create income you can't outlive, control taxes, minimize risk, protect your assets, and prepare an estate and legacy plan. It's their 5-pillar retirement planning. Ready to learn more? To get your complimentary retirement roadmap and a retirement analysis today, schedule a meeting with Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group by calling 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711, or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'll tell you, Squirrel, when you update me about the chat, I absolutely love it. This is not hell just because George Soros is alive. And this is the greatest time in America that we've faced over the last half a century minimum. And the reason is we got one guy and one guy only exposing it all.
But I called him. I said, would you like to give us a little hand? We don't need help with Iran. But if you'd like, give us a hand with Iran. He said, no, thanks. And I said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un, your next-door neighbor, and you're not going to help us on a very easy military operation in Iran? That's strange. No, we'd rather not get involved. I say, well, why are we involved in helping you?
Bingo! Same thing with Spain. Same thing with all of Europe. Sell their currency and buy an ally. Ironically, Japan. That's the move. And everywhere, it's adding money to the people who earn it. Why do you think all these socialists and communists and Democrats, they hate the big, beautiful bill? Because it gives you, the working American, your own money. They wanted everything to be like Illinois, where you can barely keep any of your own money.
All right, folks, more stuff the media won't tell you. And that's the strong Trumpian economy. That's subject to the riff. That's right. A new batch of industrial production, manufacturing, and business CapEx came out today showing the best hard goods boom probably in decades. And all the liberal mainstream media wants to talk about is the allegation that rising inflation is driving up long-term interest rates. Now, that allegation is wrong. I'm going to get to it in a moment or two. But the important story is still the manufacturing boom. And today's industrial production report showed back-to-back gains in June and July for both total production and manufacturing. Durable goods, which is the heart of the manufacturing story, up 8.2% annually over the past 3 months. And then...
Not hearing that, huh? Oh, no, all the suck-ons. All the morons and frauds. Manufacturing employment is down. Good. Is it Democrat unions that are losing their job? Good. Get rid of them. Because they're the ones that have been making that giant sucking sound to everybody else's money you keep pretending. These are the ones who will vote for a communist, a socialist, or anybody else calling themselves an American Democrat over their own country. I personally love it. In the real economy, where the real people govern their areas, non-Democrats, we're kicking ass.
We are back. The S&P topping 7,800 for the very first time today as earnings continue to impress. I know they impress our next guest. He's the Wharton School Professor of Finance, Wisdom Tree's Chief Economist, Jeremy Siegel. Professor, welcome back. I did describe that correctly, right? I mean, you continue to be blown away by the earnings momentum, yeah?
Yeah, I'm blown away by the earnings momentum and continuing good news. You know, last Friday when we were on, we talked about, you know, the situational awareness. What would you call it? Not a meltdown, a liquidity event. And it really didn't rock the market. That was a clearing event. And I think that gave confidence to people. Well, there's some leverage built in there, but it's not excessive. And then the CPI and the PPI report today, this week, are actually quite good. Goldman Sachs, which...
That's Siegel, Professor of Finance, Wharton Business School. And who's going to insult them? The moron Democrats?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
That's the highest economic advisor to the election thief and fraud with dementia who had soiled his trousers 3 times a day called Joe Biden. There he is, Jared Bernstein. What's his degree in? Guts on Ghoul.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it, Shanga Kawawa.
Only the good die young. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Ask Hasslis. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hasslis Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Uh-huh, good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599, but Hasslis has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, plus free next-day delivery.
So shopping at Hasslis won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasslis.com.
I've got a question for you. When is the last time you actually looked at your insurance policy? Not renewed it, but looked at it. Most people, including myself, get it, and then you forget about it for years. That's exactly how you end up underinsured and overpaying without even knowing it. Tommy and TJ Iaquinta have built Class A insurance around fixing just that. It's a father and son operation out of Chicago's southwest suburbs. And because they're independent, they're not locked into any one carrier. They work with the best names in the business to find the coverage that actually fits your needs, matches your budget, and does what you want it to do. That kind of attention is why Class A has landed on the list of top 25 home insurance agencies in Chicagoland. So here's what I do. Call Tommy or TJ and ask for a free insurance review. He'll go over it with you line by line, no cost, no obligation, no quote required. You just walk away with the knowledge of where you stand with insurance. To set it up, go to 560insurance.com or call 708-328-5150.
At Signature, a division of Esquire Bank, going the distance for business banking clients is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, and a plan for growth. They do not have time to wait for answers. With Signature, you have a trusted banking partner focused on understanding your business and helping you move forward. When you have a question or need support, you want someone who will pick up the phone, respond to your text, and be there when it matters. That's Signature. We are a team that takes the time to understand you, your business, and your goals. Ready to become Signature's next success story? Call 773-467-5600 or visit signature.esquirebank.com. Signature, a division of Esquire Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
It's true the macro always affects the micro when it comes to economic numbers. But what happens when the micro area adds taxes on taxes? What does that do to the quality of life among people who live on 50% of their income that's earned honestly anyway? We'll discuss this, the macro, the micro, and maybe some dessert with Scott the Cow Guy Shality after Foxweiser.
They want social media made safer for kids. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Multiple states suing Facebook and Instagram parent company Meta, claiming the company used tactics that made the platforms addictive to children.
A former senior researcher at Meta testifying that after a whistleblower went public about alleged harms to children, employees were told not to share research with other workers. A psychology professor at San Diego State University who has previously testified before Congress about how social media negatively impacts young people's psychological health will return to the stand Thursday. California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey are leading a group of 29 states accusing Meta of deliberately creating features that lead to mental health harms, including addiction, and of collecting minors' data without parental consent, violating federal law. Meta has repeatedly pushed back against the allegations, arguing it has a strong record of protecting teens.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, the trial judge who presided over the case of Carmelo Anthony, the Texas teen convicted of stabbing another teen to death at a track meet last year, has been removed from the case as the defense seeks a new trial. Anthony's legal team argued District Judge John Roach enforced overly strict courtroom rules, and he gave an interview after the trial was over. President Trump appears to be lukewarm on the idea of restarting talks with Iran.
It'll either be extremely good and oil prices are going to drop like a rock, or we'll continue to do exactly what we're doing.
Again, the president said a lot of boats are going through the Strait of Hormuz, insisting the U.S. has control of it. Britain's Prince Harry and wife Meghan have decided to return to the United Kingdom, but Britain's Daily Telegraph reports they will not resume their roles as working members of the royal family. The couple gave up the royal positions more than 6 years ago and moved to California to pursue contracts with media companies. America's listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Here's another look at the roads. On the outbound Edens, no delays. The Kennedy inbound at Canfield. Watch out for an accident. It is 1 hour going in. The outbound trip also 1 hour. On the Eisenhower Post Office out to 390, hour and 20. 55 north, a crash at Bluff in the left lane, solid from Blodgett. And the Stevenson out remains at 1 hour to 355. 30 minutes outbound Dan Ryan. Heavy still along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, southbound and northbound. Northbound Tri-State, there's an accident reported at Cicero Avenue. We're seeing delays pretty much on all of the tollways at this time, and roadwork delays northbound 53 into Northwest Highway. This report is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 64. Thursday will bring mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with a high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. On Friday, expect a mix of clouds and sunshine with a chance of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
It's true. The macro economy affects the micro pocketbook every single time. The devastation to our once great areas, now ghettos. And yet here they are eating their tail.
Yeah, guys, literally just seconds ago, the Illinois Tollway Board just voted unanimously to approve the largest toll hike in state history. You can see that board meeting getting out right now. Now, what that means is that tolls will now increase starting January 1st, with additional increases built in every 2 years. The average
taxes on taxes on taxes. What about the gas taxes? Second highest in the country. What does that do to people who are living on 50% of their income? You think they give a rip about the macro? Well, it's all connected, even though it's more expensive to leave the once great state, now ghetto. Scott the Cow Guy Shallot, he knows the macro and the micro, and he knows exactly the overtaxation of being in Illinois, and he was one. How are you, handsome?
I'm good, by the way. Brace yourself for more, because we're in trouble, and they're going to start to try to tax the way out of it. It's not going to work, but that's what they're going to try to do.
Well, is it starting, or is it just quintupling down and and all of the nonsense? And, I can't help but notice when you look at the big schemes that we're supposed to save the state, we're supposed to save the city, they're taxes of another kind. You're taxing economic and desperate illiterates with video poker machines and pot dispensaries. Video poker machines is very interesting because the state's take is $2 billion. $2 billion. And the way that they carved up that half-ass mafia, the state gets a third, the house gets a third, the retail store gets a third, and then the company of the Bohemian Pimps gets a third. So you got a third, which means, in essence, that's $6 billion a year being taken out of a state that's in poverty. You couple that with gas taxes, with toll rate increases, with cable bill taxes, and cell phone taxes, all the highest in the country. How do you live there unless you're rich? Or you just want to be poor?
Well, you're going to have to leave. I mean, I hate to say it because a lot of people don't have the ability to, or they've got family, or they have a family business, or they're in agriculture. You can't take your 500 acres and move them to a different, state. The people that probably should be leaving the fastest are the ones that are rooted there. They can't leave. So there's a lot of hostages. I'm sorry. Money, the people with the money, they can move, and they will, and they already are. They're proven to already do that. And we're only replacing the people in the state of Illinois with people that make about 2/3 of what the people that left were making, if they make anything, by the way. So right. The math is not going to work out. They're talking about, hey, the real estate is doing well there. No, it's just coming off of horrible lows. People are getting sucked in because they're going to end up getting hit with the real estate taxes. That's next. It's already number one in the country, but that doesn't mean it can't go higher. And they can't replace the people that are moving as far as the income goes. So they're not going to get the taxes. It's just, I don't know. It's over. It's structurally there. It's the Titanic. You can rearrange the deck chairs all you want, but it's the Titanic.
Well, one of the other things that's happening is it's not exclusive to these areas, to Illinois. New York is having an incredible convulsion, as empty buildings are only second to L.A. and California, which is having convulsions. New Jersey is having convulsions. And one of the things that I find amazing is that they want you to believe that there's a difference. And I say this seriously. In Florida, where I was, they had the primaries, right? And they want you to be outraged that a communist won where a welfare increase for all Democrat was. I see no light in between a communist and an American Democrat like Pritzker. Do you see a difference?
No. And then, you know what? Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever you want to look at it, they're going to become one and the same as we get closer to 28.
One and the same as they get closer to 28. But yet we still have an incredible, successful arena in this country. Incredible economy in spite of the insanity and the policies that were built to be forever policies of corruption. And I'm also amazed at, you do a lot of research. I do a lot of research. Have you found one Democrat, and I mean this, elected or running, that is talking about eliminating the trillions of dollars, just Medicaid, $1.3 trillion a year that they found being stolen, let alone the rest that's being stolen? Have you seen one of the so-called Democrats or communists talk about eliminating the fraud? Are you amazed that we have all of these people in the country that are perfectly fine with money being stolen from us?
They don't look. I'm sure they don't look at it that way, but you're exactly right. It is, and I've done some more work. What's bigger than Medicaid, by the way, is the interest on our debt is bigger than what we pay in Medicaid here. It's bigger than Medicaid in the budget. So we've got people stealing. We're having to pay service on our debt because we're stealing. This situation, I've been talking about it for, 2.5 years, how bad it's gotten. It's slowly but surely everybody's woken up to it. But we're in a bad spot, and the problem is that people think they're going to get bailed out, but we're already a huge debit. $40 trillion we went into just now.
Yeah. $40 trillion and a million every microsecond. And you know what's fascinating, Scott? And you and I have talked about this, but I have such admiration for Scott Besson. I truly do. I really do. I like him. I think he's a very, very smart guy. I talked to many people in the course of the blessing of this show. And we talk about this scam that we all buy. We just repeat it and swallow it. Not me and you, but most people. Right? And it's called monetized debt. Monetized debt, to me, out of this $40 trillion, and out of it is interest, right? Interest is now $2 trillion a year, $2 trillion. But yet nobody is telling me why we pay interest to an invisible entity, the government. So it's a tax in the form of the absence of having the courage to use the word tax. We are paying interest to nobody. And out of that $2 trillion, if the monetized debt, I think it's $1 trillion a year. Why are we paying tax to nobody? And if we're paying tax to nobody in the form of monetized debt, which is a made-up word, somebody is creating a buyer that does not exist, the illusion of a bond buyer, and someone is getting the VIG, the interest. Why? And what if we just eliminate? Did you make up the debt? Who am I paying this to? Nobody? Okay, well, then I'm not paying the debt. And we could maybe cut some of the costs. Otherwise, it's not even a Ponzi scheme. It's a mathematical impossibility for this country to pay $2 trillion to interest, of which I believe $1 trillion is to nobody. Why doesn't anyone discuss this?
Well, I think the problem is that there are people that actually do lend us money, and they want to be paid back on their debt. If they saw somebody that was let off of their debt, they'd want to be let off of theirs too. I probably think that's probably one of the biggest reasons. They're trying to run it like on the outside look like a real business, but on the inside it's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, you're in essence, out of the $2 trillion that we now pay in interest, there's no specificity, none. And if that's the case, and you're trying to repatriatize the debt, and you're trying to make seniors buy the debt and hedge funds buy the debt that already aren't buying the debt, well, then tell me, and then let me know what I get, and we'll buy the debt. But they don't tell you. I hate this. It's sit at the kids' table. All you guys who are smart enough to have businesses, all you guys who pay the bills for your family, you're just going to buy this garbage we feed you and don't ask any questions. I don't like it. And it has to change, in my opinion. I'm wondering, do they have this conversation of, okay, you're charging us $2 trillion in VIG, in interest. I want to know who gets it. Why shouldn't I?
Well, the bondholders are the ones that get it, really. I mean, they're the ones that bought our debt, right? And we pay them.
Yeah, but except for the ones that they make up to buy the debt. And I'm telling I speculate that's 50%. And the they would be what? The Federal Reserve? The very entity.
Yeah, the Treasury. The
very entity. But the very entity that determines why we can't have a true booming economy by keeping the rates high for the poorest among us. It's insanity. It is an economic soiree of fraud and lies that I don't want to pay the $2 trillion anymore. Do you?
Well, no, and I've done some, because I'm going to talk about this a lot this week and next week on my show. But just to put things in perspective for you, Shaun, we spend $3.1 billion per day on Medicare and $2.5 billion per day on our defense. That's unbelievable.
And who gets out of this thing with the Medicare? All of this
$5 billion a day on interest. $5 billion a day on interest.
We're broke. We're broke, brother. There's no growing out of it. You're broke.
Look, even if we captured all the waste, fraud, and abuse, even if we got every dime, I think it's only like $1 trillion, and that's going to be only for 1 year. They're not going to continue to be able to capture that. So that really can't be the answer. I'm just telling you right now. We're going to see more and more taxes, and because of this problem, that's what they're going to use as the excuse. I'm just telling everybody to buckle up, Buttercup, because they're going to use the excuse of the debt, and they're going to use the excuse of the debt. And look what's going on in this country. We need to raise your taxes, and some people like Illinois are out in front of it.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, when you look at what's happening with the credit cards and you look at what's happening to the average American and you look at the idea in these Democrat dungholes, these fraud kleptocracies like Illinois, they just keep adding more and more and more triple taxes, quadruple taxes, and the rest of it. You cannot have credit card debt. You are literally going to have to dedicate every penny you make to controlling your own debt, but moreover, to strategically placing yourself in a position to afford the upcoming taxes. Otherwise, you'll take people and you'll do exactly what they want to do, erode the middle class. There is, when you talk about Illinois, I went back the weekend for a short visit, and I was helping, everybody talk about bills and, the kids and all that stuff. So they bring me, do you know it's the cable bill in Elmwood Park for just high-speed internet and HBO is like $300? The water bill it's astronomical. The property taxes, I'm doing the math in my head. Listen, if you ain't making $200,000 a year, you ain't living. You're going into debt every fracking month because $200,000 a year. What do you take home? $1.25, maybe.
Yeah, $1.20. I was gonna say $1.20.
Maybe. And you look at the taxes. These are houses that are Sorry, my neighbors are going to be mad. Get the hell out of here with the taxes. What the hell? You can't even go to their frickin' school. Everything sucks. And you got people paying $1,000, $2,000 a month. What the hell is that? It's craziness, man.
Yeah, that is the. I don't know how. I mean, they're trying to get rid of. You're trying to get rid of it in Florida, aren't you? Get rid of real estate tax in Florida, at least at some level. You are.
Yeah, of course, but it's a fraction. What I live in here. At least twice as much in value, and I pay a fraction of what I pay in that old bungalow. That with the wind blows, believe me, your hair's moving.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. But that's the thing. It's like when I realized, I don't know, this was in the early 2000s, that if you owned your house clear and free, no mortgage, you were still having to rent it off the government. It was not going to go away. You had to pay that every single year. So I have friends, wealthy friends, and you've got them, Lake Park and up north and River Forest and the likes, and they have multi-million-dollar homes that the tax bill is affecting whether they can sell the damn thing or not.
Oh yeah. Because, well, first of all, they haven't moved in decades. There were $2 million. They were worth $2 million in the 90s.
Right. You got you got $100,000 a year tax bill, and somebody says, "Well, I'm going to be there for 10 years, so that's at least $1 million, but it's probably going to go up. So let's call it $1.5 million. So if you're trying to sell this house for $3.5 million, I'll give you $2 million because I want to be able to afford the tax."
Yeah, Hinsdale, you could buy a $4 million mansion for $2 million. It's fascinating to watch the destruction of.
Hold on, is that happening?
Sure, it is. Sure, it is. Wait, I mean, you got a bunch of ex-stripper housewives in G-wagons at Starbucks that pretend it's not happening, but their husbands know it's happening. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yes, I lived in Western Springs. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's exactly what's going on here. But the reality is they're not only are they not talking about it, this slob of a tax cheat himself, J.B. Pritzker, he's going to, first of all, the guy who they got running against him is a body double. He's going to walk in there. I mean, it's preposterous to see what's happening. And this Illinois toll board, nobody voted for him. He appointed them. So who the frack are they? And you've got now, like the Soviet Union, I'd love to know the percentage of people who live in these areas that derive their entire economic life from government. So now you've got truly the snake eats its tail. And it's a Soviet system right here in America, which is why if these states issued their own currency, even they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take it. The Illinois state worker would say, "Don't pay me in the Illinois fracking dollar." The whole system operates because they got us handcuffed, soup to nuts. The decent always pay the indecent, and it's not attached to taxes anymore. It's not attached to income anymore. It's literally the debt. So back to $40 trillion, there's no stopping it when we keep bailing out these scumbags, is there?
No, but I agree. I totally agree with you. But the problem is that for some reason there's this level of people just take it like they don't. They're okay. My real estate tax is part of the deal. You could have some pushback. I mean, nobody. I just don't get the feeling like if everybody pushes back on anything. It's just the way it is. You got to pay your real estate tax. Well, I didn't have that big of a house in Western Springs, but in 2014 when I sold it, the real estate tax bill was like $36,000. I mean, that's insane. That's more than I made my first year out of college with a finance degree. And the government wants me to pay that whether I own it outright or not. I don't know why more people go, this is dumb.
Well, you know what it is too. The good intended American and the good decent guy, 9 times out of 10, you feel like it's only you, right? I got a friend of mine who I love. He's affiliated with a company that I deal with. I love the guy. He's a great guy. Put his kids through college, Northbrook, nice neighborhood, very nice neighborhood. Talking to him yesterday. He's like, I got to argue to pay my taxes. I had to get it down because I'm paying $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month on his house. Aside from any debt, aside from ordering a pizza, aside from they put the kids through school. Now he's an older guy. And he was like, well, I don't know what to do, who to talk to. At a certain point, this has got to be acknowledged. That's what the government wants. They want you too poor to be able to make a change. And that I've just described a tremendous amount of people I know and love, and that's where they get you. They get you where now you're floating yourself on credit cards. You're borrowing on income. You're borrowing against your retirement fund, and before you know it, there is no middle class. And that's the Cloward-Piven 2.0 that these Democrat areas are hoping. Because now, congratulations, everybody's a communist. That's ultimately where the goal is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, as we get closer to 28, it's going to be. They're going to become more in the same. And there's going to be a stark decision that a lot of people have to make coming up. And the Democrats with the 5% billionaire tax. I mean, folks, if anybody thinks that it's not coming for you, there's already been people that have floated a millionaire tax, and then it's going to come down to $500,000, and then it'll be $100,000, and then it's going to be $50,000. Everybody's going to pay it. But anything that's a one-off tax, like a 5% one-off tax, is stealing. It's wealth confiscation. It should be illegal. It's not right.
First of all, that's what Illinois just did with the cyber currency, with the Bitcoin and the other Ethereum. They're taxing it even though you didn't get out of it. So at a certain point, how come people don't push back against that? You can't tax an unrealized gain. It's impossible. If it goes down, do I get a rebate next year? What are you thinking? Well, what's amazing to me is the lack of attorneys of character. And I'm dead serious. There has to be attorneys out there. You can't. This is completely against the principles of what private property is. This is an assault on private property. And this is why when you go back to those old timers, you go back to Hayek. I played a clip the other day. He says if you destroy private property, that's the only thing that makes America special. The only thing is we're built on private property. But when you look at these areas and you think about what you've done here, just by ignoring it and pretending it's policy, you're charging people quadruple taxes on taxes with Illinois toll. Okay, but fine. You can ultimately say, I'm not taking the tollway. But when you start to tax just unrealized gains because you have them, now at a certain point, you have to be a sucker for disclosing to the government you have them. Why do I even got to tell you? What do I got? I got any Bitcoin? No, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm not telling you nothing. Why am I in the position? Because you know who never pays a tax aside from a Pritzker? A cartel drug-dealing scumbag, a gangbanger scumbag, a recipient of a grant, a violence interferer gangbanger with platinum teeth.
You're going to love this. On that $5 billion tax that they're thinking about putting through once in California, 5% on billionaires, and they're also going to float, if the billionaire is not cash rich, they'll loan him the money that he can then pledge shares in companies that he has against the loan so he can pay the tax. How about that?
I'll take a picture of myself in a hot tub on top of Caesars with 6 strippers in it. I'm broke, boys. It's all gone right here. I mean, at a certain point, you're going to have to start to blow the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Give it away. Hell, I get it. Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Boy, it's aggravating. That's aggravating. And we didn't even get to talk about the obvious commercials. Commercial real estate in New York and Chicago sucks ass. Rents are high because of the rent freezes. California's taxing billionaires. At a certain point, we're going to have to recognize this is a war. You are in a civil war. Communists, Marxists, and Democrats against the decent. That's that simple, isn't it?
I did a story today on your Aon Center there in Chicago.
How did that go?
Well, it was like it sold for $700 and something million in 2015 and just got appraised at 185 or 190.
I want to meet the sucker that pays that. I'll tell you what, you give me $3 million, I'll think about managing it for you. That's exactly the position this garbage is in. And when you see these states talk about, now look at all the bust-out states that are suing all the social media companies. You want to know what would be the greatest move, and I hope we see it, and I hope we see it this week. For all the, are you suing me? Wait a minute, hold on. You're suing me? I'm allowing you to use my service, and you're suing me for free? I'm allowing you to use it for free. Here's what we're going to do. Like Iran. Are you in Illinois? Now there is no Facebook for you. No Instagram, no Twitter, no nothing. You live like the third world savages your rulers want you to be. My offer to you is this. Nothing. Is somebody going to man up and say, I don't have to give you my service. Now I'm not going to give you anything, you scumbag Illinoisan. Nothing. What do you think?
I love to see it, but you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of people that need to get out of there can't afford to get out of there, and especially the agricultural folks that have land. What are they supposed to do? I mean, there's a lot of collateral damage.
I've been watching these guys, you know as well as I do. Half of these farmers are just waiting for the welfare check. They hit the mailbox too. They're welfare guys with overalls and suspenders. You know what I mean.
They feed the country. They feed the country.
Yeah, sure they do. All right, well, listen. McDonald's, 6.5 million hamburgers a day. Where's all the frickin' cows? I traded live cows. We got that many cows? 6.5 million a day? That's a lot of cows. You're eating plastic.
Yeah, we need more cows, but we have a lot, yes. So we need more.
All right, Scott Shallady, Scott the Cow Guy, RFD TV, tomorrow, 12:30 to 1:30. Tune in. Be there, be square. Correct?
All right, brother. Yep, thanks.
Thank you, handsome. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Hey, y'all, I'm Willie Robertson.
And I'm Corey Robertson.
We partnered with Echo. It's a new platform, not just streaming.
Movies and series that are safe for your family. Echo. I love a podcast.
Plus, Echo Daily Devotionals.
Echo. Hey, Willie, what is Echo?
Echo is my pet squirrel. Okay, yeah. Echo is not just faith-friendly, it is faith-driven.
Be a part of something better.
Echo.
Echo.
That's where I want to be.
That's EKKL.com.
Subscribe now.
If stairs in your home are becoming difficult, there's a practical solution, and it doesn't have to come with pushy salespeople. Access provides dependable stair lifts designed to help you stay safely in the home you love. No gimmicks, no overselling, just honest guidance, quality equipment, and professional local installation. We'll explain your options, work within your budget, and let you decide what's right at your pace. For a straightforward, no-pressure, free in-home consultation, call 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
Hey, y'all, I'm Willie Robertson.
And I'm Corey Robertson.
We partnered with Echo. It's a new platform, not just streaming.
Movies and series that are safe for your family. Echo. I love a podcast.
Plus, Echo Daily Devotionals.
Echo. Hey, Willie, what is Echo?
Echo is my pet squirrel. Okay, yeah. Echo is not just faith-friendly, it is faith-driven.
Be a part of something better.
Echo.
Echo.
That's where I want to be.
That's EKKL.com.
Subscribe now.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is attorney Robert Nauman of Nauman & Associates. Thank you, 560 listeners, for your continual phone calls to request our service in your estate planning matters. To share an example, a couple met with our team about an adult child that will need assistance after they both pass away. We created a trust with provisions that will protect that adult child and the rest of the family for years after they're gone. Give us a call when you're facing special circumstances with adult children. We'd love to help you protect your estate and your family. NALawgroup.com or 847-593-8777.
Concerned about your retirement accounts or bank savings? Tired of stock market turbulence? Or simply curious about diversifying with precious metals? Tune into The Gold Show on AM 560, The Answer. Learn how gold and silver can help protect your financial future. Discover insights, strategies, and opportunities designed to help you make smarter decisions and guide you to more confident investing. Don't miss The Gold Show this Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
You might be surprised at what you have lying around your house is worth, and now that the tolls are going up, you might want to sell your car, your motorcycle, even your boat, not to just finance the tolls, but because you're just going to pay more taxes and all the licensing fees. Well, there's other parts of the country, in fact, the world, that Donley Auction can tap by offering those items to the World Wide Web. That's what happens at DonleyAuctions.com for 5 decades, back when Illinois was capitalist. Proud to be American, where the taxes weren't 5 and 6 and 7 times, where you weren't a sucker if you were an honest man, you were a constituent. If you have any item lying around your house, even if it's advertising, anything with Petroliana, anything that has to do with the pride of America, if it makes you proud because your grandfather wore it in World War II or Vietnam, go to DonleyAuctions.com or call 815-923-7000, even if you have a question of what is it worth. I'm thinking about closing a business. I inherited something from an aunt who just couldn't take it anymore. She left me her estate. She has old furniture. She has old dishes, old plates, hand-painted. Randy Donley is an expert. I took advantage of that myself. Just go call 815-923-7000. And don't forget, if it's a firearm, and now that Pritzker has attacked the Second Amendment, it's not part of America, sell it to part of the country that is America, as they are a state and federal licensed arms dealer. Handguns, shotguns, rifles, cannons, all at DonleyAuctions.com. Ammo out the wazoo. I wanted to have pig blood ammo. I thought it would be good for what we're facing, not just in Michigan, but in the world, with the Islamo-Nazis. We're talking about it. In the meantime, get your own ammo at DonleyAuctions.com or call 815-923-7000. You'll never have to look at an item and say, what's it worth? All you need, 815-923-7000 or DonleyAuctions.com. And by the way, they'll be at Shaun Fest along with you. When we get back, 312-642-5600. We'll take your calls and comment after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. In our forecast, partly cloudy and 63 tonight. The Illinois Tollway expected to vote today on the largest toll rate hike in state history. If approved, tolls in Illinois could rise nearly 60% beginning next January. Bryce Hill with the Illinois Policy Institute says their survey says the public is against any toll increase.
We got nearly 14,000 responses back from the tollway that they had collected, and we found that 76% of the people who had responded, nearly 10,000, were opposed.
Byron Donald's the projected winner of the GOP primary for Florida governor.
Tonight, because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we have won a massive victory.
Donalds will face former Congressman David Jolly. The news is a service of Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. Your next news update is at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. And up next, a check of the evening commute. In our traffic center, here is Jill Urchek.
The Kennedy out to O'Hare from downtown, 55 minutes. And the outbound Eisenhower, though, still looks good. Eisenhower Post Office out to 390. That's an hour and 10. 55 north, Jam Blodgett to Bluff. The crash at Bluff is off to the side. Stevenson outbound just under an hour to 355. Inbound Ryan, an accident at 79th. 2 right lanes are blocked. 30 minutes going in, and the reverse checks in at a half hour. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, it's still busy either way. Tri-State is as well, but things are improving. Westbound Jane Addams and southbound 355 snug. Southbound side, an accident on the exit ramp to the westbound Reagan interchange. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 64. On Thursday, expect mostly sunny skies, pleasant conditions, and lower humidity with the high of 81. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 63. Friday will bring a mix of clouds and sunshine with the possibility of a heavy thunderstorm late in the day or evening. The high will reach 79. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Hey, American Custom Flooring in Niles is hosting a one-day customer appreciation event. Enjoy free food and drinks from 9 to 3 on Saturday, August 22nd. Save big on all countertops. Browse beautiful slabs on display or peruse through hundreds of remnant pieces for smaller projects. If you've shopped for countertops before, you know the hassle. The person who sells the countertops isn't the one measuring, fabricating, or installing. At A American Custom Flooring, your countertop orders are handled under one roof, and you'll work with the same person from start to finish. With a 20,000 square foot showroom and a 30,000 square foot warehouse, choose the perfect stone for your home. Plus, you won't pay for wasted material. Don't miss their one-day event, Saturday, August 22nd, or step into the showroom today, located just north of Howard and Caldwell in Niles. Learn more at aamericanflooring.com. A American Custom Flooring, your one-stop shop for flooring, cabinets, and countertops.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Foundations of Freedom, a look at America's founding principles and the leaders who shaped our nation.
When George Washington accepted command of the Continental Army, Americans were fighting a king and determined not to replace one form of unchecked power with another. Washington understood the difference between authority and ownership. In 1775, he declared, "When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen." Even as commander of America's army, Washington remembered that he remained one of the people and that the power entrusted to him was never his to keep. He did not fight to rule America, he fought so Americans could govern themselves. Washington's example gave the young nation something more than victory. It gave America a standard for leadership. Those who hold power must remain accountable to the people they serve, because in a free nation, leadership is not ownership, it is a duty and a trust.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Old porcelain signs, gas and oil collectibles, collectors are waiting. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. Taxes were low when this song first came out. Well, so I got a question for all the morons. Not that I want them to call. I don't even give a rip what they have to say. But it's a fascinating reality. So when they increase the tolls on the trucks, the trucking company raises their prices. And then the products that get shipped raise their prices because the cost increase. Is that Trump inflation or is that low-life scumbag Democrat thief inflation? I'll take B. Ding, 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 ding. It's Fetzlav Pritzker, who never wanted to pay any taxes and never had to because he never worked. He didn't even want to pay property taxes, the cheating scumbag. Blame the old lady, because she's the only one with upper body strength to rip a toilet out, not his fat ass. I love how stupid you are as you destroy your own economy. Greg in LaGrange.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you being not only talk show host, but talk show call-in guy?
Perhaps.
Stealing my time?
Did I steal your topic? Which show? I only called Jeannie and Amy.
I'm just talking to you. I'm just speaking with you. It was either on their show this morning or who was on stand for Dan. Trucker calls in. He goes, "You don't get it.
Oh,
I'm not going to travel your roads anymore because not only do I have to pay a lot for your fuel, I have to pay to travel your roads now, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And guess what? If I'm paying, that means everybody downstream is going to pay. This is insidious what they're doing. Insidious.
You know what it is, Greg?
Shaun, there's nobody in their right mind. Nobody in their right mind that would start a business in this state.
No. And you know what it is this is the last chapter in Atlas Shrugs. It really is. And look at who she was, Ayn Rand. I'm sure you read it. You read it, right?
Yeah.
Look at who she was. She watched her own country devolve into it. She understood it. And she articulated all of the predictions of all of the economists. All of them. And people called her crazy. You remember that? She was she's a controversial figure. She should have called herself Karnak because she was talking about New York. She was talking about New Jersey. She was talking about Massachusetts. She was talking about Illinois and California. She was talking about the communism rise in America. She was 100% right. And she picked the most important industry of it all back then, steel, which was really oil. It's a fascinating, really, to live through it. It's kind of exciting, too, Greg, because we still have the luxury. It's not happening everywhere. Scott's in Tennessee. There are 11 states. Pick one. But what's also great is to watch the true face of greed, the useless, good-for-nothing Democrat. It's fantastic. Did you see they're going to sue Tyson Foods? By the way, a huge Democrat, Tyson. You're going to sue Tyson Foods for what? For leaving? So now, once again, admit what you are, you fascist pig. You need servants. And they must serve you. It's not about their business. It's about your needs, you greedy pig. That's why all welfare roaches since the dawn of time are fat. Go ahead.
It's interesting really quickly. I just read a Wall Street Journal article today. Yields on U.S. Treasuries are at a 19-year high. But you, long ago, basically said you are captive not only to what you have to pay at a federal level in some cases, but your states and your counties and your cities and municipalities are going to be the worst of all because they're going to make life completely different at the grassroots level. You got to rip, you got to leave. You got to leave. I know I have to leave. I'm working on getting out because
it's sad, though, brother. It's sad.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but you have it's the only logical conclusion, Greg. There is no other. And that's why when you see these simpletons run and pretend to be the opposition and can't tell you why, that's how you know the game is rigged. This moron that they put up as the Republican, no wonder Pritzker donated the money to him. No wonder.
One last thing. I was just going to say, where's the guy that's running against Pritzker for governor getting out here and railing for anything today? He's nowhere to be found.
No, he's at one of those farm stores looking for new overalls. Moron. Before we go to Scott.
Where in the world is
Darren Bailey?
Show me a sign, give me a clue. Drop me a hint and tell me something new. It's a global mystery. You've got to watch and see. Where in the world is
Darren Bailey?
Darren Bailey. Have Aaron Delmar explain this conversation we just had, stupid. Maybe you could say something tomorrow. Get your head out of your ass. Scott Willowbrook.
Evening, Shaun. How we doing?
I'm all right, babe. How are you?
We're fine. Hey, I wanted to talk about this Iran war. I've been thinking about it lately, and maybe you can shed some light on this because, it's going to work itself into whatever it's going to work itself out to be now, but I've been thinking about how I think Trump kind of maybe did this the wrong way. I think he should have focused on our economy up into the midterms and got it where, people weren't spending the money like they are on gas. Prices would have dropped. It could have been the vision he was talking about. Get through the midterms in a favorable light where it would have been better for the Republicans. And then after you get past the midterms, you bamboozle Iran after that. I think he kind of went
The one thing you know
what I'm trying.
Well, I know what you're going, but here's the problem with it. It's based on half info, right? Because the one thing you know is that you don't know. Now, if you really are a hyper news freak, you remember that not only did Iran have a hit out on many, many key players in our government, senators and congressmen, a schematic came out, information chatter that was intercepted where they had the blueprint of his daughter's home. And they've been operating in the shadows because, first of all, how many are here right now thanks to Joe Biden, who had open borders? How many cells of Islamo-Nazi scum, aside from the ones that are running in Detroit and Michigan, how many are here right now? You don't know. So the other thing, too, Scott, is Americans have a luxury of not knowing. We've been in a war with them and many other players for 50 years. So we've been in the war. The question is, you're going to pretend it's cold or hot. You could take the CIA operation of just keep giving them money, Barack Obama and the rest of it. Let's pretend they're friends. Let's pretend. Let them keep killing our guys, or you could kick their teeth down your throat. I love a good kicking your teeth down your throat. In fact, what I think he made the mistake, the real mistake, I don't think he went hard enough. Go until they stop chasing goats. Go until you hear nothing. By the way, have you heard from Ayatollah Assad that they still pretend is the supreme leader, part 17? Where is he? Him and Mitch Connell, are they in rehab? They're doing jumping jacks together. So the problem we have is that we're not given information because our propaganda, calling itself media, has been putting lipstick on American communism, calling themselves Democrats for 30 years. So I'll tell you what, I used to say years ago after September 11th, I don't really care who we go after. Just make sure casualties are high. That's exactly what I want now. Wipe them all out until there's nobody left. Thank you very much. We'll be back.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Honey, I can't deal with this kitchen anymore. It's cramped and everything is outdated.
I know, but it makes no sense to move. I could call my contractor buddy Chad.
Babe, you've seen Chad's house, right?
Yeah, good point.
Plus, he showed up late for his own wedding. Let's get someone who's reliable.
How about Forever Remodeling? They have a team of interior designers, master installers, and project managers all under one roof.
Their reviews on Google look amazing, and homeowners post a ton of pictures of their work.
It looks like they even offer 3D rendering of their projects.
Just like my TV design shows.
Exactly.
Plus, AM 560 listeners get a free in-home design consultation.
From kitchens to bathrooms, basements to whole homes, the design build team at Forever Remodeling takes the stress out of remodeling. They're done on time and guaranteed to match your vision. Visit them online at foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com. Forever Remodeling, stress-free and high-quality remodeling.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
All right, I'm so excited I can golf on our golf outing. And the reason why I can golf is because of Virago. Yes, I even called Dr. Huber the other day and said, I don't know what's going on. I've had shoulder pain for a year. I did not want to have surgery. Don't have time for downtime at all. So I called Dr. Huber and said, what's going on here? This is the only thing I've been doing different. And he said that Virago is an anti-inflammatory. So a lot of pain is associated with inflammation. So swelling's gone. I could use my shoulder again, and I will be golfing. But here's what you do. Virago is so much more than an anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. It has nutrichemicals working together in synergy. And it even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, folks, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix my Virago in with my orange juice. You can put it in smoothies, and you will feel the difference. Trust me. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myVIROGO.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
AM 560. The Answer.
Bum, 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 Iran. Bum, 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 Iran.
Top of the charts, 1980, Squirrel. The whole country said, what did you do? 444 days. They kept our diplomats, our women, right up until a man went into office. Then they knew they were going to get their ass kicked. They begged for forgiveness. Now they're just a punchline joke of a country. $1, what's it worth? Toilet paper. Not even gum on the sidewalk. In fact, $1 makes you worth 1.83 million reals. You could wipe your derriere with it, unless you're Pritzker. Then it's going to take at least 7 million reals.
Can we get rid of this Ayatollah T-shirt? Khomeini died years ago.
But Marge, it works on any Ayatollah. Ayatollah Nakbada, Ayatollah Zahedi. Even as we speak, Ayatollah Razmara and his cadre of fanatics are consolidating their power.
I don't care who's consolidating their power.
And now Ayatollah Sissy Pants, with a leg blown off and his eye missing, allegedly, if he's alive. I think he's with Mitch McConnell. Lee Hammond.
Hey, Shaun, what do you think of this grift that Karen Bass is running out there in L.A.? She's got a commercial where she's saying for every $1 you donate to her campaign, she'll get 6 back from the city of Los Angeles for her campaign. I mean, how did the Chicago Democrats ever miss that one?
Do you know what her resume is? Council on Foreign Relations. The only trace of her, Council on Foreign Relations, where she was a suck-on bureaucrat, and then she was in Cuba kissing Fidel Castro's ass. Yeah,
She
you know
makes
that?
a good ambassador to Cuba.
She's pretty, too, isn't she? Aren't they all good-looking, Lee? You remember when women actually look like women? Thank you very much, Lee. It's the beauty of talking to somebody who understands right from wrong, like Dominic in Glendale Heights.
All right, so we sit there and watch the fat guy tell you how Trump keeps raising taxes on you, and yet he's the one raising taxes. How dumb are these Democrat voters? It's
Take a look at him. Take a look at him. Did you see him there?
It's amazing.
You see him standing there? All fracking dumb, all in on the take. You know, that's the other thing, Dom. The pirates know what a scam it is, and the morons are the ones who support them. You got to love it. And they're just hoping for something for nothing, because that's what you're all worth, something for nothing. We keep getting taxed in the name of you. You keep promising us things are going to be great, and we say as long as you Democrats aren't the provider of anything, otherwise it's all going to suck, even your utopian health care.
Let's get back to that breaking news. Imagine going in for what is supposed to be routine surgery and being left permanently paralyzed.
Tonight, that is what several mid-state families are dealing with after procedures late last week at Ascension St. Thomas Hospital.
4 people had a Democrat put poison in their spinal cord and destroy it. They can't walk. Nipples down, mortadelle. Welcome to Democrat medical utopia. And when they run countries, here's a great one.
5 months left in office, Governor Walz has taken a big step to prevent mining near the Boundary Waters. A polarizing...
You know what the mining was, Squirrel? Mining for copper. You know what's happening in Minneapolis?
We're starting with crime solutions, as more Minneapolis neighborhoods are being hit by copper wire thieves, and the city...
So to make sure copper wire's high, let's not mine it in Minneapolis, and we'll let the scumbags steal it, and they get out of prison. You want to live in a ghetto? It's easy. Identify yourself for what you are. A Democrat. The ghetto developers. We'll be back in 21 to drag them out from under the rocks, the cockroaches they are.
Your home or business has storm damage and you have an insurance claim.
Call